Chapter 380. It's a pity that the branch is broken. Otherwise, I could still comprehend it. Be content. 70% sword intent in the harmonious spirit realm is already very terrifying. I'm afraid that other warriors can't even reach this level. Zhu Yi said. Indeed, Lin Xian felt this powerful force. He felt that he could even fight against a late harmonious spirit warrior. Not only that, he felt that his understanding of Wind Emperor's sword had become more thorough. It was as if he could comprehend the concept of wind at any time. It's about time. The Jiang clan's convention will begin soon. Lin Xian's figure flashed and left the forest. The Jiang mansion was very lively these days. Disciples cultivating could be seen everywhere. It could be said that the entire Jiang mansion was in a frenzy of cultivation. When Lin Xian returned, he saw the third elder who was looking for him. Young hero Lin, you're finally back. The third elder was happy. Is the convention about to begin? Lin Xian asked. Yes, we'll depart tomorrow to Qingshui Lake. Young hero Lin, please don't leave again. The third elder reminded. Lin Xian nodded and agreed with a smile. After the third elder left, he went back to his room and had a good sleep. On the second day, many people gathered in the square of the Jiang mansion. There were also two huge flying beasts in the distance. Most of the people in the crowd were disciples of the Jiang family. The rest were some white-haired elders. Jiang Jin and Jiang Iha stood in the front row of the Jiang family disciples. Their eyes were filled with fighting spirit. Lin Xian walked over and greeted them. He then stood aside. The patriarch of the Jiang family nodded and said in a clear voice, "It's about time. All the disciples of Qingshui Lake will be gathered in this convention. It's a very grand convention. You must listen to the third elder and the fourth elder's orders. Don't act on your own." Yes, the disciples below shouted excitedly. You must show your best strength in the convention and strive for the best ranking. I'll be waiting for your triumphant return in the Jiang mansion, the patriarch shouted. Hearing this, the disciples' eyes were filled with fighting spirit. Showing off in the convention wasn't only for the family, but also for themselves. If he performed well, he might be able to stay in Qingshui Lake and even have the chance to enter the powerful Jiang family. This was the dream of all the Jiang family's disciples. Well, I'll leave these disciples to you too. Jiang family patriarch said to Jiang Sihai and the third elder. The two nodded, then turned around and said in a deep voice, "Let's go." Everyone leaped onto the two flying beasts in the middle of the square. Lin Xian and the third elder also got on. The group quickly set off. 5 days later, they arrived at a place with beautiful scenery. There was a rectangular lake below that was as clear as jade. On one side of the lake was an endless mountain range, and on the other side was a majestic town. It stood there like an ancient ferocious beast. Before he even got close, he could already sense an ancient and weathered aura. It's an ancient city. Lord Alcohol was astonished. Although Lin Xian didn't know what an ancient city meant, something that could surprise Lord Alcohol was naturally extraordinary. Therefore, he also carefully looked down a few more times. However, with his vision and strength, he didn't find anything unusual. Therefore, he stopped paying attention. The two flying beasts landed on the grass near the green lake. Everyone jumped off and stretched their bodies. Blackfeather City didn't allow flying beasts to enter, so the two flying beasts could only stay there. After some reorganization, the third elder and Jiang Sihai led the group of disciples to Blackfeather City. The pitch-black city walls were painted with black feathers, giving off a unique aura. The little white monkey jumped out of the storage ring and sat on Lin Xian's shoulder, curiously looking at the ancient city. Its eyes were filled with excitement, as if there was something inside that was very attractive to it. Don't run around, Lin Xian warned. He didn't want the little white monkey to cause trouble for him at this time. The little white monkey nodded with an "I understand" look. Stop. Entering Blackfeather City, 30 mid-grade spirit stones per person. 2 guards blocked the group with their spears. 30 mid-grade spirit stones wasn't cheap. Lin Xian was surprised. He curiously looked at the guards on both sides. Half-step harmonious spirit realm cultivation, and one of them is at the harmonious spirit realm. He found that the head guard was at the harmonious spirit realm, and the other guards in black armor were all at the half-step harmonious spirit realm. None of them were weak. This kind of cultivation would be an elite in a country like the Xia country. But now, these people were just gatekeepers. A strong country was indeed a strong country. Everywhere was extraordinary. Lin Xian praised. We are a branch of the Jiang family. We are here to participate in the clan meeting. The third elder took out an invitation from his storage ring. Oh, a branch of the Jiang family. Let's go in. The head guard glanced at the invitation and revealed a gentle smile. The Jiang family was a powerful force in Blackfeather City. They weren't someone they could easily provoke. Zhang Jin and Zhang Yiha saw the change in the guard's expression and immediately became envious of the Jiang family of Green Water Tiger. If they could become a disciple of the Jiang family of Green Water Tiger, their status would be raised a lot. The group walked into Blackfeather City and quickly headed towards the Jiang family. Obviously, it wasn't the first time that the third elder and Jiang Sihai came here. They were very familiar with the terrain. Therefore, Lin Xian and the rest didn't delay and went straight to the Jiang family's territory. A building that was even more magnificent than the Green Mountain City was in front of them. It was emitting a terrifying chi that made people's heart palpitate. How is this a palace? This is a mountain. The crowd exclaimed. Oomph! A bunch of country bumpkins. A few arrogant young men sneered. What did you say? Someone shouted. Zhang Jian and the rest frowned. I said you country bumpkins. Why are you still not convinced? The young men sneered. You are just a bunch of country bumpkins. How can you be a match for us Green Water Tiger? I don't think you need to participate in the clan meeting. Just get lost. You're courting death. Zhang Jian snorted. His body emitted a silver sword chi. Zhang Yiha also frowned. His eyes emitted a chilling intent. Yiha, Zhang Jian, the third elder said in a low voice. Time is running out. Go in quickly. But the two of them wanted to say something but were stopped by Jiang Sihai. Count yourself lucky. Zhang Jian glared fiercely at the few disciples, then strode in. Not convinced? I'm Jiang Qianluan. You better not let me see you at the clan meeting. Otherwise, I'll make sure you crawl back. The young man shouted. Jiang Qianluan, I'll remember this. You'll regret what you said today. Zhang Jian said coldly. Lin Xian didn't say anything, but he sighed in his heart. From the attitude of Jiang Sihai and the third elder, he realized that the Jiang family of Green Mountain City didn't have a high status among the branch families. Otherwise, with their strength and status, they would definitely fly into a rage if something like this happened. Now, they could only pretend that they didn't hear anything. I don't know if the person I'm looking for is here. Lin Xian took a deep breath. Chapter 381. Entering the Jiang clan was like entering an exquisite garden. There were rocks and waterfalls everywhere. It was beautiful. However, no one was in the mood to admire it. They were still angry about what happened at the entrance. Don't think about what happened just now. If you're not convinced, you can get back your face at the clan meeting, Zhang Sihai said. Elder Sihai is right. You only have one goal now, and that is to show off your skills at the clan meeting. Pretend that you didn't hear anything else. Everyone gritted their teeth. They knew that their status was definitely not as high as these clan disciples. The only chance to vent their anger was at the clan meeting. Many branch families had come to the clan meeting held by the Jiang clan of Green Water Lake. The Jiang clan of Green Mountain City was just an ordinary branch. Their strength was below average among these branches. Therefore, not only did the Green Water Lake disciples look down on them, but even some branch disciples looked down on them. Yo, aren't these people from Green Mountain City? A mocking voice sounded. Everyone turned around and saw a group of people standing not far away. The person in the lead was an old man. Behind him stood more than 10 young disciples, all of whom had arrogant expressions. Cold Wind City's Jiang clan branch. Third elder frowned. I've been waiting for you here for a long time. Why are you only here now? Are you planning to be a coward this year? The old man sneered. Zhang Tianya, what do you mean by that? Zhang Sihai snorted. He didn't dare to resist against the Green Water Lake disciples, but he wouldn't go easy on the Cold Wind City branch. What do I mean? Do you want to bet again this year? Zhang Tianya asked. Bet? Lin Xian looked puzzled. Why wouldn't I dare? I'm just afraid that you won't dare to agree. Zhang Sihai sneered. Okay, same old rules. If we win, We'll use Green Mountain City's Green Mountain Cave for 3 days. If we lose, we'll let you use Cold Wind City's Cold Wind Array for 3 days. How about that? Jiang Jian and the others' expressions changed. They knew about the Green Mountain Cave and Cold Wind City that the old man mentioned. Those were the sacred grounds of the clan. Even the patriarch could only use it 3 times a year. Others couldn't use it at all. After Lin Xian understood the situation, he was slightly speechless. The stakes were a little too high. Jiang Tianya, you will definitely lose this time. The third elder gritted his teeth and said, You guys sure talk big. You guys used to say that too, but when have you ever won? Jiang Tianya said disdainfully. Lin Xian's eyes flickered as he rubbed his nose. It seemed that the Jiang clan situation wasn't very good. This time, we will definitely win. Jiang Yihe walked out and said in a deep voice. Jiang Tianya sneered. Late harmonious spirit realm? Are you the kid who used pills to increase his realm? His voice was full of disdain, but Lin Xian could hear the thick jealousy in his voice. The faces of the third elder and the others changed. Even Jiang Yihe was trembling. They couldn't figure out why the people of Cold Wind City would know about this. You're just a piece of trash who can only use some dirty tricks. I'll let you know the true strength of a late harmonious spirit warrior. On Cold Wind City's side, a young man with long and narrow eyes walked out. This young man had a powerful aura, and he carried a purple saber on his back. His eyes were filled with endless sharpness. Humph, I'll fight you. Jiang Jian took a step forward, and a silver sword aura soared into the sky. The young man with the saber squinted his eyes. Get out of my way, mid-harmonious spirit warrior. Die. Jiang Jian's silver sword aura gathered and was about to slash down. Enough. Everyone stop. Jiang Sihai shouted coldly, If you want to fight, there are plenty of opportunities in the arena. Kid, you better not meet me, or else you'll be dead. The young man with the saber sneered. You'll be the one to die. Jiang Jian didn't back down. On the side, Jiang Yihe also said in a deep voice, I'll let you know my true strength. The other disciples' hearts sank. It seemed that they had a lot of enemies this time. Not only the Jiang clan of Green Water Lake, but also the Cold Wind City's branch. Third Elder, so you're here. The people of the other branches saw the third elder and the others and greeted them warmly. I heard that you have pills that can increase the cultivation of harmonious spirit realm. Is this true? Everyone was excited. Yes, what kind of alchemist can concoct this kind of pill? You should introduce it to us. Jiang Sihai and the third elder frowned slightly. The news had actually spread out and everyone knew about it. It was really beyond their expectations. How did you know? The third elder asked. Know the enemy and know yourself, so that you won't be defeated. Those people laughed. Who is this young man? Why isn't he wearing the uniform of the Green Mountain City? Many people looked at Lin Xian. In this clan meeting, different branches would wear different clothes. For example, the disciples of Green Mountain City wore green clothes, while the disciples of Cold Wind City wore blue clothes. Lin Xian wore black clothes, which made him stand out from the rest. This is young hero Lin. He came with us this time for other matters. The third elder explained. Humph, how can we allow others to enter the clan meeting? Third elder, this is not appropriate. Jiang Tianya snorted. What's wrong with this? Every clan meeting will invite some guests. Why can't I bring someone? The third elder retorted. The clan meeting will only invite people with noble status. Who is this kid? How can he be compared to those people? A few disciples of Green Mountain City walked over and shouted coldly. Lin Xian frowned. He didn't expect the conflict to involve him. This Lin Xian can't be related to the alchemist who concocted that miraculous pill, right? Someone asked doubtfully. Suddenly, everyone's eyes lit up. It's very possible. Otherwise, the third elder and the others wouldn't bring this kid. What a strong soul power. A few elders in the crowd looked at Lin Xian with doubtful eyes. Are you an alchemist? Lin Xian was surprised. He didn't release his soul power. Ordinary people wouldn't be able to sense it, but these elders could sense it. It seemed like this Green Mountain City was full of crouching tigers and hidden dragons. Seeing that he couldn't hide it any longer, the third elder quickly explained. This young hero Lin is indeed an alchemist. Moreover, he's an honored guest of our Green Mountain City. Alchemist? Could he be the one who concocted that pill? How is that possible? He's so young. He must be his master. Young hero Lin, I wonder if your master can concoct some for us. If you have any requests, please tell us. The group was very enthusiastic. Everyone, please don't make things difficult for young hero Lin. The third elder helped them out. Third elder, this is your fault. Good things should be shared among everyone. Someone said unhappily, Humph, kid, tell your master to come over and concoct 10 pills for each of our Green Mountain City disciples. A domineering voice sounded. Everyone was stunned. 10 pills for each person? Were you a cabbage? But when they saw the person who spoke, they all shut up. A youth in a white robe appeared in the crowd. Beside him were several white-clothed disciples. Chapter 382. The young man's white sleeves were embroidered with golden clouds. This was the symbol of a core disciple of the Green Water Lake. This kind of disciple's status was even higher than that of a branch elder. Didn't you hear what I said? The young man in white frowned. Sure, but you have to provide your own materials and 3 million mid-grade spirit stones, Lin Xian said lightly. He didn't want to refine medicine for these people, so he offered such a ridiculous price. What? 3 million mid-grade spirit stones? Everyone was shocked. He's too daring. Is this kid so poor that he's crazy? Who knew that he would be so rude to a core disciple of the Green Water Lake? This kid is going to be unlucky. A group of people whispered. They knew that the Green Water Lake disciples wouldn't let this matter go. As expected, the young man in white's face darkened when he heard Lin Xian's words. Kid, do you know who you're talking to? I think you're tired of living. The white-robed youth, Zhang Hong, said coldly. I think you're tired of living? Lin Xian sneered. You dare to offend an alchemy inscription master? Are you tired of living? Alchemy inscription masters differ from person to person. If it was your master, maybe I would be more polite. But I don't need to be polite to you. Zhang Hong sneered. Green Water Lake disciples, are your eyes on your head? So rude. Lin Xian said in a low voice. He was tired of these people. Each and every one of them was so arrogant. You're courting death. The young man in white was furious. Zhang Lu, take him down. Yes. A disciple beside him stepped forward. Brother Zhang Hong, there's no need for you to take action. I'll take care of him. The young man with a saber from Cold Wind City said, Everyone, why don't you give me some face and let this matter go? The third elder cupped his hands. Give you face? Who do you think you are? Zhang Hong sneered. This is the Green Water Lake. You're nothing here. You. The third elder was furious. He could only snort coldly. The disciples of Green Mountain City also felt aggrieved. Haha, kid. No one can save you. The young man with the saber laughed. The reason he took the initiative to make the first move was naturally to curry favor with Zhang Hong. If he could please a core disciple, then their status in Cold Wind City would rise by a lot. Everyone was silent. Many people sighed. In their opinion, Lin Xian was a half-step harmonious spirit realm warrior. He would definitely die if he faced a late harmonious spirit realm warrior. Sigh, what a pity. He's too young and doesn't know how to endure. That's right. He has offended the Green Water Lake. Even if he has a powerful master, I'm afraid that his future days will not be easy. You're really courting death. Cold Wind City's disciple sneered. You ant who doesn't know the immensity of heaven and earth, this isn't a place where you can behave atrociously. Obediently kowtow and admit your wrongs. The young man with the saber walked over step by step. With every step he took, the aura on his body grew stronger. So powerful. Zhang Jin's eyes were filled with fighting spirit as a silver sword light appeared on his body. He is indeed very strong. Zhang Yiha's expression was incomparably solemn. He felt a wave of pressure. This person was 3 times stronger than him. How could Lin Xian have the chance to escape? The third elder's eyes were filled with uncertainty. The spirit energy on his body was also fluctuating. If you dare to make a move, I will remove all the disciples of Green Mountain City. The white-robed young man, Zhang Hong, said coldly. The third elder's body trembled, and the spirit energy on his body was quickly extinguished. Haha, let's see who can save you now. The young man with the saber laughed. Lin Xian turned his head to look at the third elder and the others. He saw that they were silent and had no intention to make a move. With a sigh, Lin Xian ignored them. He knew that his fate with these people had come to an end. From now on, they would have nothing to do with each other. Obediently accept your death. The young man with the saber took a step forward, and a sharp saber light gushed out from his body. This aura caused some of the weaker disciples to turn pale and almost faint. What a lackey taking credit. Unfortunately, you have found the wrong person. Lin Xian's eyes gradually became sharp. An invisible sword intent was emitted from his body. He's fine? The crowd exclaimed. Even some early harmonious spirit warriors couldn't withstand it, but Lin Xian was fine. Not only was he fine, he even mocked the young man with the saber as a lackey. This was too crazy. You're courting death. The young man with the saber's face was gloomy. His 5 fingers formed into a claw and grabbed at Lin Xian. He didn't use his saber because Lin Xian wasn't worth it. This claw was aimed at Lin Xian's head. If Lin Xian was caught, he would definitely die on the spot. The crowd sneered and shook their heads. They all thought that Lin Xian was dead meat. In a flash, the young man with the saber arrived in front of Lin Xian. His steel-like hand mercilessly fell. Lin Xian's finger was like a sword, quickly stabbing out. The green sword light swallowed and spat out like a cold wind. The finger landed on the young man's palm. Puff. Blood splattered. The young man with the saber screamed and retreated. Drip, drip. A row of blood droplets was left on the green stone floor. The young man with the saber retreated 10 steps, holding his right hand. His face was full of fear. Impossible. This is impossible. How could you hurt me? He crazily shouted. The young man with the saber was injured. This was too unbelievable. One should know that he was a late harmonious spirit warrior. At this moment, everyone's face changed. The third elder and the others were shocked. They didn't expect Lin Xian to be so strong. The young man in the white robe stared at Lin Xian with a gloomy gaze. Jiang Jian, Jiang Yihe, and the others were shocked as if they had seen a ghost. Especially Jiang Jian. He thought that his sword art was superior and didn't put anyone in his eyes. However, he couldn't even see the trajectory of Lin Xian's sword. Impossible. This is impossible. That brat is only a half-step harmonious spirit warrior. How can his sword art be so good? I told you, if you want to be my lackey, you've found the wrong person. Lin Xian's voice was very cold. Brat, I want you dead. The young man with the saber had a ferocious expression. His left hand reached behind his back and pulled out a long purple saber. I've already been merciful with that sword. If you continue to be stubborn, don't blame me for being merciless. Lin Xian warned. At this moment, everyone was stunned. Their eyes almost popped out of their sockets. This brat must be hiding his cultivation. Otherwise, it's impossible for him to have such excellent sword art. At this moment, if they couldn't see Lin Xian's strength, then they wouldn't be able to live anymore. Lin Xian didn't plan to continue hiding. Sometimes, showing his strength was a way to solve problems. The spirit energy in his body circulated. The aura of a harmonious spirit warrior spread out. The whole sky was filled with sharp sword intent, as if it would fall down at any moment. Everyone exclaimed, "He really hid his cultivation." This was in line with their understanding. Otherwise, a half-step harmonious spirit warrior killing a late harmonious spirit warrior was too terrifying. I guess he must be a late harmonious spirit warrior. Otherwise, it's impossible for him to injure a late harmonious spirit warrior with one sword. You don't need to say that. Everyone was discussing, but soon, they were stunned again. Chapter 383. This is clearly an early harmonious spirit realm. Is he still hiding his strength? No, it doesn't seem like it. Why do I feel that he has just entered the harmonious spirit realm? Everyone's expression changed again. They realized that even though Lin Xian was not a half-step harmonious spirit realm expert, he was only an early harmonious spirit realm expert. It was impossible for an early harmonious spirit realm expert to injure a late harmonious spirit realm expert with a single slash. Just an early harmonious spirit realm expert. I was careless just now and only used 30% of my strength. Now, I will let you know what a true expert is, Zhang Bei said coldly. So that's how it is. He was careless just now. Everyone felt relieved after hearing Zhang Bei's words. I told you, that kid can't be this abnormal. Everyone felt relieved and watched again. With the long saber in his hand, Zhang Bei's entire temperament changed. At this moment, he was like a wild saber, emitting a wild and tyrannical aura. Cold wind space splitting slash. The long saber slashed out and an endless cold air rushed out. A 10-zhang-long blue saber condensed in the air. It was like a 10,000 years old ice blade, quickly slashing down. Jiang Jin and the rest's expression changed and their bodies trembled continuously. The aura of this saber made them unable to resist. Even Jiang Yihe frowned. Even he didn't have a good way to deal with this attack. In a flash, the blue saber arrived above Lin Xian's head. However, Lin Xian acted as if he didn't see it and slowly pulled out the autumn scar. Swoosh! The sword slashed through the air. It seemed slow, but the sword aura arrived at Zhang Bei's head in an instant. Such a fast sword. Everyone's heart was beating wildly. Even though Lin Xian made his move later, the sword aura hit his opponent first. Puff. Zhang Bei's defense was like tofu. It was easily cut open. Blood spilled out again and Zhang Bei's body fell to the ground. At this moment, Lin Xian gently moved his body, leaving a string of afterimages in the air and easily dodged the blue saber. How is this possible? Everyone was shocked and speechless for a long time. If Zhang Bei was injured because of his carelessness, then what was the reason this time? Zhang Bei had already used all of his strength, but he was still defeated. Moreover, he was defeated even more miserably. What did this mean? It meant that Lin Xian's strength far surpassed Zhang Bei's, which was why he could easily defeat him twice. His strength was too terrifying. Who exactly was he? Everyone in Golden City was confused. Jiang Jian was completely dumbfounded. That sword strike just now was too stunning. He did not have any reaction at all. Only when Zhang Bei fell to the ground did he react. If he were to face Lin Xian, he would have died long ago. A sense of helplessness rose in Jiang Jian's heart. He realized that his swordsmanship was nothing compared to Lin Xian's. Brat, how dare you injure him? The people of Cold Wind City were furious. Zhang Tianya shouted coldly. His entire body was like a goshawk as he quickly pounced over. Two gigantic blue ice palms appeared in the air and attacked Lin Xian from both sides. The surroundings quickly froze, and countless icicles formed in the ice, shooting towards Lin Xian like a rain of arrows. Lin Xian focused his mind and calmed his qi as he slashed out with his sword. Streaks of fine sword light flashed past everyone's hearts, followed by a terrifying sword intent. Everyone trembled as if their souls had been pierced by the sword. When they came back to their senses, they realized that the gigantic ice blue palms and the ice spikes in the sky had all shattered and scattered on the ground. Dragon counterstep. Lin Xian's figure flashed and disappeared on the spot. When he appeared again, he was already on Jiang Tianya's left side. Flying rainbow. The broken sword stabbed diagonally. The materialized sword qi was like a rainbow as it collided with Jiang Tianya's protective barrier, emitting a clanging sound. Clang, clang, clang. Jiang Tianya was indeed a veteran martial artist. His protective barrier was very thick, forcefully blocking this sword strike. However, this resistance only lasted for a moment before it was torn apart by the terrifying sword intent. Qi. Jiang Tianya was severely injured, and his body flew out. Everyone was completely stunned. Another sword strike defeated the enemy. Even a veteran martial artist like Jiang Tianya was not spared. Elder. The disciples of Cold Wind City were pale as they quickly ran forward. In just a short moment, all the elders and genius disciples of their branch were severely injured. The white-robed youth, Zhang Hong, narrowed his eyes. It seems that I have indeed underestimated you. However, since you dare to injure people in the Jiang clan, you are dead meat. No one can save you. Jiang Hong planned to do it himself. He stepped out with a cold expression. Humph. No one can stop me if I want to leave, Lin Xian said in a deep voice. Is that so? You can try. Jiang Hong's voice was cold. He raised his palm, and an aura that was even stronger than Jiang Tianya's overflowed. This aura made most of the people present tremble, as expected of a core disciple of Green Water Lake. You are indeed extraordinary. You are even stronger than the elders of the branch. Lin Xian flicked his finger. Then, the black cloak behind him fluttered and instantly turned into 3 identical figures that ran in 3 different directions. Everyone was stunned. They did not expect Lin Xian to have such a secret technique. Jiang Hong was also frowning, but he reacted in an instant. He waved his fist, forming a fist shadow the size of a house, and blasted toward the clone in the center. Boom! A terrifying energy exploded and waves of air rolled in the sky. The clone in the center was blasted into pieces and turned into a rain of light that scattered on the ground. No. Everyone was disappointed and looked into the distance. As expected of a core disciple. What a good move. The crowd exclaimed. They thought that Lin Xian would not be able to escape this time. It turned out that when Jiang Hong attacked the clone in the center, he had also mobilized the spiritual chi of heaven and earth to form a spiritual chi cage to block the other 2 clones. Let's see how you can escape. Looking at the clones struggling in the spiritual chi cage, Jiang Hong sneered. Whoosh! Suddenly, a terrifying sword will came from behind Jiang Hong. It was like an angry dragon roaring. At this critical moment, Jiang Hong could no longer care about his image. He shrank his body and rolled forward, dodging the terrifying attack. The sword chi brushed past the back of his head. If he was a second later, the sword chi would have pierced his head. After dodging this dangerous attack, Jiang Hong's face was as black as an iron pot. He turned around abruptly and saw Lin Xian not far behind him. With the broken sword in his hand, Lin Xian stood proudly like a demon. I've said it before. If I want to leave, none of you can stop me. His domineering voice reverberated in the air. At this moment, no one dared to question Lin Xian. Even the powerful Jiang Hong was almost killed by a single sword strike. Who else could be Lin Xian's opponent? The 3rd elder and the rest were shocked. They regretted it so much that their intestines turned green. Such a powerful young man must have a terrifying background. If they could befriend him, it would be a great benefit to their family. However, they had given up such an opportunity. They knew that they would never be able to cross paths with Lin Xian again in this life if they did not help him at the critical moment. Sure enough, Lin Xian did not even look at them when he left. Everyone looked at Lin Xian's back in shock. Since when did Longxing Nation have such a genius? Jiang Hong looked at the departing figure with a murderous look in his eyes. Chapter 384. He was almost killed just now. How could he be satisfied? But he was not confident that he could defeat Lin Xian now. If he went up recklessly, he might end up worse. So, he could only watch as Lin Xian left. Lin Xian left the Jiang clan and walked slowly on the streets of Blackfeather City. He was thinking about his next path. He had fallen out with the Jiang clan and could not go back in a short time, unless something special happened, but he did not regret it. Those people were fierce and wanted to kill him. If he did not resist, he would have been killed. I can't investigate openly. I can only investigate secretly. Lin Xian decided to find a chance to get close to the Jiang clan. But he would have to wait until after the Jiang clan meeting. Forget it. Let's find a place to stay first. Lin Xian walked toward the inn. Woo woo woo, the little white monkey suddenly made a sound. Its big eyes blinked and were unusually bright. Its furry paws scratched Lin Xian's hair. The little white monkey pointed in a direction and screamed. You mean there's something good there? Lin Xian asked. The little white monkey nodded and pointed at itself with its paws. It has something to do with you? The little monkey nodded excitedly and looked very eager. Okay. I got it. Let's go have a look. Since he had nothing to do, Lin Xian ran in the direction the little white monkey pointed. As he ran, there were fewer and fewer people on the street. Finally, he came to a deserted area. There were not many people on the street. The surrounding houses were very old and covered with dust. It seemed that no one had been here for a long time. Lin Xin looked around and found a villa in front of him. So, he walked over. The red door had become very dim and was covered with cobwebs. He pushed the door open and entered. The air inside was somewhat stifling. The smell of dust was everywhere. Lin Xian was secretly alert. He slowly spread out his soul power to check the surroundings. There was no danger in the yard. He looked at the house in front and was about to move. Suddenly, he sensed two auras rapidly approaching. Frowning, Lin Xian's body flickered, and he brought the little monkey to hide. Just as he hid himself, two figures quickly landed in the courtyard. Lin Xian used the Black Cloak's concealment ability and concealed his aura. Then, he used his eye technique to sneak a peek. He saw two figures standing in the courtyard. One of them was a beautiful figure wearing a white dress. Her face was covered by a veil, so he couldn't see her face clearly. However, based on his intuition, Lin Xian knew that this woman must be very beautiful. Beside her was a five-colored peacock. The colorful feathers were like rainbows, extremely beautiful. However, the peacock was very anxious, as if something was attracting it. Lin Xian was greatly astonished that there was something here that had actually attracted two strange beasts. The multicolored peacock and the snow-white monkey were not ordinary demonic beasts. Something that could make them so excited was definitely not ordinary. The snow-white monkey blinked its black, gem-like eyes and looked at Lin Xian pitifully. "Don't worry, you'll definitely get it." Lin Xian patted its head and comforted it. The beautiful white figure and the multicolored peacock also looked around cautiously. After making sure that there was no one around, they walked into the house. Lin Xian didn't act rashly. He planned to change his position and continue to investigate. At this moment, a cry of surprise came from inside the house. Lin Xian was surprised and quickly spread out his senses. Soon, the white figure and the multicolored peacock retreated into the courtyard. The two of them looked into the house nervously, as if they were very afraid of the person inside. "Kiki!" A strange cry came. Then, a figure as red as fire appeared in the courtyard. That person wore a red robe with a three-headed bird embroidered on it. It was very strange. "Since you're already here, why leave?" The voice was faint. Pretending to be mysterious. The beautiful woman in white snorted. "This peacock is not bad. I'll leave it here." The robe on his body emitted a light, and a red head appeared in front of him. Boom! The head of the strange bird the size of a house opened its mouth and spat out a huge fireball. Like a falling meteor, it burned continuously and quickly rushed towards the multicolored peacock. The woman in white snorted and took out a hexagonal ancient mirror. She activated her spiritual power and shone it in front of her. Suddenly, a white light shot out and rushed towards the huge fireball. The air trembled. The white light was like a sharp divine spear and instantly shattered the red fireball. However, the shattered flames quickly changed in the air and rushed towards the multicolored peacock like a rain of fire. The multicolored peacock raised its head proudly. The feathers on its back fluttered, and a green curtain of light appeared. Sizzle! Like ice melting, the flames were quickly extinguished. Seeing this, the multicolored peacock chirped in disdain. "Not bad. It's a mutant peacock. Maybe it'll like it." The man in the red robe laughed sinisterly. He waved his sleeve and swept it downwards. The surrounding spiritual energy trembled, and a strange bird with a red body appeared on the ground. The bird had 3 heads, but the eyes on the 2 sides were closed as if they were sleeping. Only the head in the middle was abnormally awake. Its eyes were like rubies. What kind of strange bird is this? Lin Xian was surprised. 3-headed vermilion bloodbird. I didn't expect to see such a thing here. Lord Alcohol was also surprised. Is it very powerful? Lin Xian asked. It's more than powerful. It's terrifying. An adult 3-headed vermilion bloodbird can swallow a spirit-detecting expert in 1 gulp. And an adult 3-headed vermilion bloodbird has the ability to destroy the world. Swallow a spirit-detecting expert in 1 gulp. Lin Xian was shocked. The most powerful warrior he had seen so far was a spirit-detecting expert. A person who could make an entire country submit to him was definitely terrifying. However, Such an expert was only food for the three-headed vermilion bloodbird. One could imagine how terrifying the three-headed vermilion bloodbird was. So what? Lord Alcohol snorted. Legend has it that this bird is related to the netherworld. Its three heads represent the three attributes of fire, wind, and lightning. An adult three-headed vermilion bloodbird can reach the strength of a supremacy without cultivating. What a monster! Lin Xian exclaimed. However, although the three-headed vermilion bloodbird is powerful, it's not easy for it to grow. Not only does it require a large amount of wind, fire, and lightning attribute resources, but it also needs the blood of other demon beasts to temper it. It can only reach adulthood after 100 years. That's more like it. Lin Xian heaved a sigh of relief when he heard the harsh conditions. This person has a three-headed vermilion bloodbird. Could it be that he deliberately lured people here so that he can devour their blood essence? Lin Xian became vigilant. In the courtyard, when the three-headed vermilion bloodbird appeared, the five-colored peacock showed extreme unease. Its body emitted a green glow, forming a thick defense. Kiki, be obedient and become its food, the red-robed man said. Just as he was about to make a move, another powerful aura rapidly approached the courtyard. The white-robed woman turned her head with a cautious expression. The red-robed man was overjoyed. A man in bronze armor landed in the courtyard. Chapter 385. A powerful aura surrounded him, forming a strong gust of wind that blew everything around him away. Beside him was a majestic lion whose entire body was suffused with a golden color. Furthermore, there was a fine line on the golden lion's forehead that looked like a closed eye. Hee, another one has come. It seems like today's food is very sumptuous. The red-robed man's voice floated, filled with joy. Umph. The azure-armored man frowned slightly and said coldly, "Were you the one who lured us here?" "Not you, but them." The red-robed man pointed at the five-colored peacock and the golden lion. Roar. The golden lion let out a low roar as if it would pounce at any moment. The azure-armored man patted the golden lion's head, warning it not to act rashly. Suddenly, the golden lion revealed a puzzled look. The third vertical line on its forehead emitted a faint light that quickly swept in all directions. Finally, it locked onto a direction and roared again. In the courtyard, the white-robed woman and the red-robed man were also surprised as they looked in that direction. "Who is it? Get out here." The azure-armored man snorted and waved his hand. The surrounding spiritual energy gathered to form a blood-colored spear. Following that, the blood-colored spear turned into an afterimage in the air as it quickly pierced forward. Boom! The stone pillar in front was instantly pierced as the terrifying energy blasted everything apart. A black figure gently landed on the ground. The white-robed woman and the red-robed man's expressions changed. They had been here for a long time, but they hadn't noticed anyone beside them. The red-robed man was even more shocked. His strength was extraordinary, and his cultivation had reached the spirit transformation realm. However, he still hadn't noticed someone else hiding beside him. Immediately, the three people and three beasts all looked at that person. It was a delicate youth of 17 or 18 years old. He was dressed in black and had a sharp look in his eyes. A snow-white monkey sat on his shoulder, looking exceptionally cute. This person was none other than Lin Xian, who was also extremely shocked. He had hidden himself very well, and even spirit transformation realm experts couldn't discover him. However, for some reason, he was discovered by the golden lion. That lion is also a natural mutant. Legend has it that the third eye on its forehead can see through everything. Although he hasn't matured yet, his vigilance surpasses that of a spirit transformation realm cultivator, Lord Alcohol transmitted. So that's how it is. I didn't expect there to be such a mystical Yao beast. Lin Xian exclaimed. Who are you? Why are you hiding there? The green-armored man asked in a deep voice. Just like you guys, I was lured here by this person. Lin Xian shrugged and explained. Wooji, the little white monkey nodded and made a funny face at the crowd. At this moment, the three of them finally noticed the snow-white monkey on Lin Xian's shoulder. However, other than being cute, there didn't seem to be anything special about the little monkey. So weak. What a useless monkey. The red-robed man snorted. He didn't sense the little white monkey's abnormality and immediately snorted disdainfully. What he needed was a mutated beast, or a beast with powerful blood essence. Only then could his three-headed vermilion bloodbird evolve. When the snow-white monkey heard this, it immediately became unhappy. It bared its teeth and glared at the red-robed man, then gestured. The white-robed woman and the green-armored man revealed strange expressions. They easily understood what the little white monkey was trying to say. The little monkey seemed to be saying that it was unique, and that the red-robed man was blind and couldn't tell what was good. What a clever little monkey. It seems like it's not ordinary either, the white-robed woman said softly. The little white monkey nodded in agreement. Humph, you're courting death. The red-robed man coldly shouted. No matter what, these three beasts are mine. A powerful aura suddenly rose from his body like a sea of blood. It was terrifying and monstrous. You want our companions? Dream on. The white-robed woman snorted. The green-armored man also revealed a trace of killing intent. You want our beasts? You sure talk big. Everyone, be careful. For the three-headed vermilion bloodbird to grow, it needs the blood essence of other mutated beasts. That's why he lured us here, so that the strange bird can eat other beasts. Lin Xian exposed the red-robed man's trick. I didn't expect you to know the three-headed vermilion bloodbird. The red-robed man was surprised. So what if I know it? He sneered. Since the three of you are here, don't even think about leaving. You think you can stop me? The light-armored man smiled disdainfully. The spirit energy on his body condensed into a long spear, as if it could see through the heaven and earth. Late harmonious spirit realm. Lin Xian's eyes flashed. This aura was much stronger than Jiang Hong's. Just me. The red-robed man shouted in a low voice. His body emitted an even stronger aura. Spirit transformation realm, the white-robed woman exclaimed. The gap between the harmonious spirit realm and the spirit transformation realm was like an insurmountable gap. They were only harmonious spirit realm warriors, so they couldn't win against a spirit transformation realm warrior. Lin Xian was also shocked. He didn't expect the red-robed man to hide his strength. He didn't even sense it. The green-armored man's expression also changed. He stared at the red-robed man cautiously. Facing a spirit transformation realm warrior, he could only choose to retreat. Lin Xian and the others had the same idea. The three of them quickly left in three different directions. Do you think you can escape? The red-robed man roared. His palms were constantly changing seals. Suddenly, countless blood-red waves appeared around the courtyard, forming a sea of blood that sealed everyone inside. Damn it, it's a formation. The man from the Qing family shouted angrily. He punched out with a force that could split a mountain. However, when the force hit the sea of blood, it only caused a few ripples. Don't waste your energy. You can't escape. Hand over the demonic beast, and I'll give you a quick death. Otherwise, you will suffer endless torture. The red-robed man's voice was cold, as if it came from hell. Lord Alcohol, can you break it? Lin Xian asked through voice transmission. He was also obstructed. In my current state, I'm afraid it will take me some time to find it. Lord Alcohol said. Lin Xian nodded. He was prepared to stall for time. The two of you, we can only work together now, Lin Xian said. The white-robed woman and the green-armored man nodded. Both of them wanted to work together. You want to fight me with just the two of you? The red-robed man sneered. The gap between the spirit transformation realm and the harmonious spirit realm was not small. This was common knowledge that everyone knew. Today, three harmonious spirit realm warriors dared to attack him. They were undoubtedly courting death. Moreover, there was an early harmonious spirit realm brat among them. Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. After speaking, the red-robed man turned into a blood-red shadow and rushed toward Lin Xian. Not good. The white-robed woman and the green-armored man's expression changed. Among the three, Lin Xian's cultivation was the lowest. Now that the red-robed man took the initiative to attack Lin Xian wouldn't be able to escape. Chapter 386. In a moment of desperation, The two of them could only throw out a few attacks in an attempt to restrain the red-robed man. However, the red-robed man ignored their attacks because of his powerful cultivation. He quickly rushed toward Lin Xian. With a slap, a blood-red palm appeared in the sky with a pungent smell of blood. Lin Xian squinted his eyes. The great dragon sword in his body surged, ready to attack at any moment. The other two were late harmonious spirit realm, while he was only early harmonious spirit realm. Naturally, the red-robed man thought that he was the weakest. However, if someone really thought so, then they were gravely mistaken. Lin Xian could see that the red-robed man did not use his full strength in this slap. His eyes flashed as he found a flaw in the attack and stabbed out with his sword. The long sword was like a dragon. A terrifying sword in tint gushed out like an angry dragon roaring, causing people's hearts to tremble. Puff! The thick sea of blood was split open and scattered to the sides. The huge blood-red palm in the sky was also pierced with a terrifying sword mark. The great dragon sword in tint was crazily destroying everything. Clang! The broken autumn scar sword hit the red-robed man's palm, creating countless sparks. Waves of energy quickly spread out in all directions. Lin Xian felt a strong impact. He quickly used the silver lightning body to resist this force. Chi-chi! His body slid a dozen meters away before stopping. The red-robed man was also surprised. Although that sword strike didn't injure him, it caused his palm to ache faintly. An early harmonious spirit realm brat was able to make him feel pain. This was impossible. In the distance, the white-robed woman and the middle-aged man were shocked. Lin Xian's strength was beyond their expectations. That attack just now, even they could not do better than Lin Xian. It seemed like there was a great chance for him to escape this time. The green-armored man clenched his fist. Interesting. It seems like I have underestimated you. The red-robed man slowly turned his palm and said. Lin Xian's heart sank. The terrifying attack just now did not hurt the red-robed man. This gave him a new understanding of spirit transformation realm warriors. Of course, he didn't use his full strength in that strike. At least, he only used 50% of his 70% sword intent. What a shocking sword intent. It seems like it's around 50%. If I let you continue to grow, you'll be in danger. The red-robed man's eyes were gloomy. I love killing geniuses like you the most. Attack together. The azure-armored man shouted. A long spear appeared in his hand, and his aura erupted like a flash flood. The spear pierced out like a dragon emerging from the sea with a majestic momentum. On the other side, the white-clothed woman activated the ancient mirror in her hand with all her strength, shooting out a white light beam that was as thick as a mountain. Lin Xian activated his 50% sword intent, and sword chi swept out in all directions. Every sword strike contained a powerful killing intent. The long spear, the ancient mirror, and the sword chi quickly rushed towards the red-robed man in the center. Boundless blood sea. The red-robed man raised his hands to the sky, and a red ball of energy appeared on his body and quickly spread out. Boom! Crimson waves of blood surged, and all the attacks that hit them were quickly dissolved. Within the blood sea, arc-shaped ripples appeared, forming a powerful suction force that seemed to want to devour people. Lin Xian used the Dragon Rebel step, and his figure was like a ghost as he quickly dodged. However, the blood sea seemed to have no boundaries, and it chased after him without letting him go. Wind Slayer. He used his eye technique to find the weak point, and the sword chi that was like a storm tore open a crack. In the other two directions, the white-clothed woman and azure-armored man also narrowly avoided the attacks. No, he's too strong. The white-clothed woman's face was slightly pale. That attack just now was just a casual attack from the red-robed man, and the three of them had to use all their strength to dodge it. It couldn't be helped. Although the spirit transformation realm and the harmonious spirit realm only had a difference of one word, the gap between them was huge. After entering the spirit transformation realm, the harmonious spirit realm couldn't compare with the heaven and earth spiritual energy. Try this move, Spirit Transformation Blood Sea. The red-robed man seemed to be toying with the three of them. He waved his hand, and red spiritual energy shot out. Suddenly, countless demonic beasts appeared in the blood sea. They had all kinds of forms, and they were ferocious and terrifying. Boom! A 300-meter-long blood python rushed toward the white-clothed woman with terrifying winds and clouds. A giant elephant as big as a mountain rushed toward the azure-armored man. A four-armed demonic bear that was more than 10 meters tall charged toward Lin Xian. The scene was terrifying, as if a real demonic beast had been reborn. This was the ability of the spirit transformation realm. They could use their own spiritual energy to transform into the form of other demonic beasts, unlike the harmonious spirit realm, who could only squander their spiritual energy. These should be the demonic beasts he killed before, Lord Alcohol said. What? Lin Xian was shocked. So many powerful demonic beasts, and they're all killed. He was on full alert, not daring to be careless. A great battle broke out, and the sky was filled with dazzling lights. The four-armed demonic bear's every attack was comparable to a late harmonious spirit realm warrior. It could be said that its strength was boundless. An ordinary harmonious spirit realm warrior would have been killed long ago. Lin Xian relied on his nimble movement technique to contend with it. At this moment, the power of the art of longevity was finally displayed. This mysterious cultivation technique that he had been cultivating since the beginning was now displaying its formidable power. Under the circulation of the art of longevity, Lin Xian felt that his absorption of spiritual energy in the surroundings had increased. This speed was far from what a harmonious spirit realm warrior could achieve. After entering the harmonious spirit realm, the quality of one's cultivation technique was reflected in the absorption of spiritual energy. The faster the absorption, not only could the warrior maintain a powerful combat strength, but the power contained in each attack would also increase. This unknowingly increased the warrior's combat strength. Normally, a warrior with a higher cultivation technique would be able to crush a warrior with a lower cultivation technique. However, Lin Xian's art of longevity was something that even an earth-rank cultivation technique couldn't compare to. Boom! With a slash of his sword, the green sword Qi transformed into a ferocious dragon that coiled around the four-armed demonic bear. Transformation! The red-robed man was shocked. No, this isn't a transformation technique of a spirit transformation realm warrior. Perhaps it's a special martial technique. The red-robed man shook his head, but the power of his attack still shocked him. Although Lin Xian's cultivation was the lowest among the three, it seemed that his strength was the most terrifying. The white-robed woman and the green-armored man were only evenly matched with the Blood Sea demonic bear, but Lin Xian was able to suppress it. Not only did Lin Xian possess a mystical cultivation technique like the art of longevity, but he also mastered an offensive saint art like the Great Dragon Sword Seal. In the eyes of outsiders, it was simply a technique of a spirit transformation realm warrior. The green dragon coiled around the four-armed demonic bear, preventing it from moving. Lin Xian jumped up and quickly swung his azure cloud sword technique. The cloud-slashing sword Qi was incomparably ethereal. A fine sword flew out like a white cloud. Puff! Two heavenly pillar-like arms were chopped off and fell into the blood sea, stirring up thousands of waves. Sudden thunder. In the sky above, silver lightning fell, forming a six-pointed formation, and suddenly crashed down. Roar! The blood sea demonic bear was struck by the lightning, and its bloody body quickly melted. It was originally formed by blood Qi, so it was innately afraid of lightning. In a flash, the huge demonic bear turned into a pool of blood. Oomph! The red-robed man snorted and withdrew the blood sea demonic bear. The white-robed woman and the green-armored man heaved a sigh of relief and looked at Lin Xian in surprise. Chapter 387. They had seen Lin Xian's performance just now, and it was indeed shocking. However, although they were shocked, they didn't feel inferior. They also had their own trump cards. What are you up to now? Lin Xian asked in a deep voice. It's easy to kill you, but before that, I'll let you watch a good show. The red-robed man laughed sinisterly. Then, the three-headed vermilion bloodbird beside him walked out. Kiki, it's time to eat. The three-headed vermilion bloodbird let out an excited cry. The head in the middle kept turning, and its body emitted a fiery red glow. He first set his eyes on the five-colored peacock. The spirit energy in the surroundings surged and quickly formed a huge fireball. This strange bird can control the spirit energy of heaven and earth. It's indeed powerful. Lin Xian frowned slightly. A red light flashed, and the fireball in the sky rushed toward the five-colored peacock with a terrifying heat wave. How dare you! The white-robed beauty struck out with her palm, sending the fireball flying. The three-headed vermilion bloodbird let out an angry cry. Its wings flapped rapidly, forming endless flames. If you don't want to die immediately, stay here until you die of old age. The red-robed man stomped his foot, forming a blood-red prison that pressed down on the white-robed woman. The white-robed woman struggled with all her might, but she couldn't break free. Now, enjoy it. Lin Xian was silent. The red-robed man's action was obviously to train the three-headed vermilion bloodbird. However, this gave Lin Xian an opportunity. Lord Jiao could use this opportunity to find a flaw in the formation. As long as they found it, they would be able to escape with their strength. The three-headed vermilion blood bird spread its wings and flew in circles in the sky like a ball of burning flame. With an ear-piercing cry, it turned into a fiery red light and rushed down. Beside it were fireballs that looked like a rain of fire. Perhaps a harmonious spirit realm warrior wouldn't be able to withstand such power. The five-colored peacock emitted a green glow, forming a natural barrier in front of it, blocking all the fireballs. At the same time, the feathers on its body were like heavenly eyes, shooting out dark green light. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Like thousands of divine spears in the sky, the attack was enough to kill an ordinary harmonious spirit realm warrior 1,000 times over. Crack! The three vermilion bloodbirds were as fast as lightning. Their sharp claws were comparable to precious weapons as they tore through the void. Lin Xian was surprised. These two demonic beasts were much stronger than ordinary harmonious spirit realm warriors. He couldn't help but worry about the little white monkey. He never knew what the monkey's bottom line was, and he didn't know if the little white monkey could withstand the attack of the three-headed vermilion bloodbird. However, the snow-white little monkey's face was filled with excitement. There was no trace of fear on its face. It seemed to have sensed Lin Xian's emotions and patted Lin Xian's shoulder with its furry little paw, looking as if it could do it. Lin Xian was so angry that he laughed. He rubbed the little white monkey's head and continued to watch the battle. In the sky, the two strange beasts turned into two streaks of red and green light. They kept colliding, creating countless sparks in the sky. In the end, the three crimson bloodbirds spat out a palm-sized purple flame, which pierced through the five-colored peacock's green barrier. As soon as the flames appeared, the void distorted. Plop! The five-colored peacock fell beside the white-robed woman, its body trembling non-stop. Clearly, it was severely injured. Ainin! The white-robed woman cried out in alarm. She struggled to break free and quickly held the five-colored peacock tightly. Fortunately, the five-colored peacock was only burned. Its life was not in danger. The white-robed woman sighed. She knew that it wasn't because the five-colored peacock was weak, but because it hadn't fully matured yet. A fully matured five-colored peacock could unleash five-colored divine light that could wipe out everything in the world. As for the one in her hand, it could only unleash one type of divine light. After defeating the five-colored peacock, the three crimson bloodbirds set their eyes on the golden lion. Roar! The golden lion roared. It leaped and arrived in front of the three crimson bloodbirds in a flash. Its sharp claws were even scarier than the sword energy and blade light. It directly grabbed the head of the beast. Swoosh! The three crimson bloodbirds turned into a streak of flame and nimbly dodged the attack. Boom! The ground cracked, creating a terrifying crack that spread into the distance. A fiery red light flashed. The three crimson bloodbirds spread their wings and dived down. Under its control, the purple flame appeared in the sky again. The void distorted. A flame that could kill a late harmonious spirit realm expert flew toward the golden lion. Lin Xian could feel the terrifying heat from afar. He was afraid that even his silver lightning body might not be able to withstand it. As expected of a legendary demonic beast, it has such strength at such a young age. How enviable! Lin Xian took a deep breath and asked through voice transmission, "Lord Alcohol, have you found a flaw? It will take some time. I can only rely on your soul force to sense it. The efficiency is very low, Lord Alcohol explained. Lin Xian could only wait patiently. He looked at the courtyard again. The golden lion remained motionless. The moment the purple flame fell, it quickly leaped to the side. Boom! A terrifying crater appeared in the ground. The bottom couldn't be seen. The golden lion's body emitted a golden light. The vertical lines on its forehead emitted endless light. A heart-palpitating force appeared out of thin air. An illusory door appeared behind it. It was pitch black, like the door to hell. Could this lion be? The red-robed man looked at the pitch-black door. A trace of shock appeared on his face. He seemed to have thought of something, but he wasn't sure. Impossible. How could such a demonic beast appear here? Perhaps it's just its descendant. The red-robed man denied the idea in his heart. He believed that it was just the descendant of an ancient demonic beast. Although it had the power of bloodline, it wasn't strong. Even so, its power was enough to kill any harmonious spirit realm expert. The three-headed vermilion bloodbird looked cautious. Its fiery red eyes stared at the door. Its two heads trembled slightly as if they were about to wake up. The vertical lines on the golden lion's forehead emitted a dazzling light as if they were about to open at any moment. The pitch-black door behind it was also trying hard to open. The green-armored man was nervous. The golden lion hadn't matured yet. If it rashly activated its third eye, there would be terrible consequences. On the other side, the red-robed man didn't want the other two heads to wake up too early. Therefore, he quickly stopped the battle. The green-armored man let out a sigh of relief and called back the golden lion. The three-headed crimson bloodbird also let out a low cry with dissatisfaction. However, it did not continue to fight with the golden lion. It turned its head and looked at the little white monkey. This time, a hint of disdain could be seen in its eyes. The other two also looked at the little white monkey with worry in their eyes. In their opinion, the snow-white monkey didn't show any signs of abnormality. It probably couldn't withstand the attack of the three-headed vermilion bloodbird. The little white monkey, on the other hand, had an excited look on its face as it waved its furry little paws and performed its self-created monkey fist. With a stomp of its feet, it flew out like a snowball. The three-headed vermilion bloodbird let out a dissatisfied cry and opened its mouth to spit out a red fireball. The speed of the fireball was so fast that even a harmonious spirit realm warrior would not be able to dodge it. Chapter 388. However, Snow White Little Who made a face in the air, and then slowly dodged. Whoosh! The little monkey disappeared into thin air and reappeared in front of the three-headed vermilion bird. Boom! Its furry paw slapped the three-headed vermilion bird's head. The head in the middle was stunned and felt dizzy for a moment. Woogie woogie! The little white monkey jumped up and kicked the three-headed vermilion bird away. The woman in white and the man in light armor were stunned. They stared at the little white monkey and couldn't calm down for a long time. The red-robed man's face darkened, and there was a trace of murderous intent in his eyes. Lin Xian was also surprised. He didn't expect the little white monkey to be so powerful. Puff, puff. The three-headed vermilion bird got up from the ground and kept flapping its wings. Its red eyes were cold. The three-headed vermilion bird was covered in purple flames. It was full of dangerous aura. Even now, its head was still in a daze, which was a disgrace to it. On the other side, the little white monkey stretched out its furry paw and waved its paw provocatively. Boom! The three-headed vermilion bird exploded and unleashed purple flames that covered the sky. However, the little white monkey was very fast. It was like a bolt of white lightning and could easily dodge the purple flames every time. The azure-armored man and the woman in white were shocked. They didn't think the little white monkey would win, but its performance was amazing. Not only was it not injured, but it even suppressed the three-headed vermilion bird. Is this little monkey also a kind of ancient beast? The two of them were surprised. The five-colored peacock and the golden lion beside them looked at the little white monkey with a hint of fear in their eyes. The red-robed man's face darkened. His three-headed vermilion bird was frighteningly big. Warriors under the spirit transformation realm were no match for it. Ordinary beasts were no match for it. However, This ancient strange bird was being played by a little monkey of unknown origin. It was hard for him to accept. Damn it, what the hell is that monkey? How can it be so powerful? In the courtyard, the three-headed crimson bloodbird was completely enraged. Not only did it fail to hurt the little white monkey, it was knocked out again. Its wings flapped, and the left side of its head trembled rapidly. The red eyelid of the head that had been sleeping for a long time seemed to twitch. Suddenly, in the purple sea of fire, the sound of thunder appeared out of nowhere, and purple lightning vaguely appeared. Are they about to open? The white-robed woman and the azure-armored man both felt a tremor coming from their souls. Lin Xian's face darkened slightly. He also felt the terror of the stimulating lightning, which was even stronger than his own silver lightning. The snow-white little marquis seemed to have sensed danger. His pitch-black eyes seemed to have turned into two black holes, rapidly spinning. An aura that was even more terrifying than the purple lightning emanated from its body. Everyone present was stunned. The red-robed man's expression was extremely unsightly because that power was enough to threaten his life. The great dragon sword intent in Lin Xian's body surged and quickly eliminated the pressure. Where did this monkey come from? Lin Xian was very curious. In the distance, the red-robed man was alarmed. He didn't dare let the three-headed crimson bloodbird continue fighting. At that moment, Lord Alcohol also found a flaw in the array formation. "Little White, come back!" Lin Xian softly shouted. The little monkey's body trembled as it revealed a look of confusion. The two black vortexes in its eyes quickly disappeared. It quickly regained its lively expression. "I found the exit of the array formation. Please follow me." Lin Xian quickly transmitted his voice. The white-robed woman withdrew her five-colored peacock and ran towards Lin Xian with the azure-armored man. The three of them ran towards a corner in the southwest direction. "Junior, how dare you?" The red-robed man was enraged. That was the flaw in his array formation. However, this flaw was very well hidden. Even a spirit transformation realm expert might not be able to find it. How did these three discover it? Could it be luck? The red-robed man couldn't think of any other reason. But even if it was luck, he wouldn't allow the three of them to leave. He once again unleashed a monstrous sea of blood. Countless terrifying blood sea demonic beasts charged towards Lin Xian and company. As for the red-robed man himself, he quickly rushed over. "Don't hold back anymore, or you'll really die," Lin Xian shouted as he brandished the broken sword in his hand, drawing an indescribable trajectory in the air. Suddenly, the clouds in the sky churned as a huge and simple longsword quickly appeared in the sky. This aura is so terrifying. The white-robed woman and azure-armored man's pupils constricted as they looked at Lin Xian in horror. They realized that this was Lin Xian's true strength. "Open!" Seeing the red-robed man's speed, the azure-armored man no longer held back. He held a spear in his right hand and summoned a blood-colored flag out of thin air with his left hand. It fluttered in the air. Suddenly, a terrifying pressure appeared around him as if the entire world was being stared at. "The Great Flag Sect," the white-robed woman exclaimed. The red-robed man in the distance also revealed a look of shock. The Great Flag Sect was as famous as the Dragon Elephant Sect. It was also one of the top 6 factions in the Rising Dragon Nation. Lin Xian quickly recalled this information. He did not expect the azure-armored man to be from the Great Flag Sect. Even if you are from the Great Flag Sect, don't even think about leaving. After the red-robed man recovered from his shock, a strong killing intent appeared in his eyes again. The blood sea around them became even more real. The heavy waves made the three of them tremble. The white-robed woman did not care about hiding her strength and activated the energy in her body with all her might. Behind her, a blurry shadow appeared. It was holding a crystal jade bottle that emitted endless radiance. "This is the bloodline of the Jiang clan." The red-robed man was shocked again. "Jiang clan?" Lin Xian was also shocked. He did not expect the white-robed woman to be from the Jiang clan. Moreover, the Jiang clan seemed to have a mysterious bloodline power. It seemed that these factions were not simple. After Lin Xian defeated Jiang Hong, he did not put the Jiang clan's disciples in his eyes. At this moment, it seemed that he was too rash. The Jiang clan clearly had a terrifying bloodline power. It was just that he had not encountered it yet. In the sky, the huge and simple longsword rumbled as it slashed down with an aura that could shatter mountains and rivers. The blurry shadow behind the white-robed woman also shot out a silvery waterfall and rushed forward. In the sky, the azure-armored man held the blood-red flag and stirred up the heaven and earth. These three forces had almost exceeded the limit of a harmonious spirit realm warrior. Even the red-robed man, who was a spirit transformation realm warrior, felt his heart tremble at this moment. If it was only one of the attacks, he was confident that he could break it open. Even if there were two, he was not afraid. However, all three of the attacks were so terrifying that they put him in an extremely dangerous situation. Break for me. He quickly put away the three crimson blood birds and merged the blood sea that filled the sky into his body. Layers of demonic red ripples surged out from his body and formed an indescribable force that protected him. Lin Xian and the other two could not care less about the red-robed man. If the energy in the courtyard exploded, they would be dead for sure. However, the snow-white little monkey disappeared with a whoosh. This is the breakthrough point. Attack with all your might, Lin Xian quickly said. Chapter 389. The broken sword pierced out, bringing with it a shocking sword will. Wind Emperor's sword. Crack, crack, crack. The Autumn Scar broken sword had just used the Gale Lightning sword, and now it had to endure the terrifying sword will. Finally, it could not hold on any longer and shattered. However, Lin Xian used his arm as a substitute for a sword and still unleashed a terrifying attack. The other two also unleashed powerful attacks, and finally tore apart the array defense before the energy explosion. Whoosh! The little white monkey quickly returned like a bolt of lightning and went back into the storage ring. The red-robed man's angry yell came from behind. I'm going to kill you all. Let's go. The three of them turned into rays of light and quickly left the place. Lin Xian and the other two tore apart the array defense, turned into a bolt of lightning, and quickly left the place. Not long after they left, an earth-shaking roar came from the courtyard. Rows of air waves quickly spread out, and a dark mushroom cloud rushed into the sky. The shockwave immediately alerted all the elites in Blackfeather City, and many of them spread out their divine senses to see what was going on. However, these people did not find anything, because the entire courtyard was blown into a deep abyss that was almost 100 meters deep, and there were no clues left. On a quiet street 1,000 meters away from the dilapidated courtyard, a mysterious red-robed man staggered as he leaned against the wall, his eyes fixed on the sky. Damn it, the three of you. I'll remember this. The red-robed man's voice was cold and filled with murderous intent. And that damn monkey, I'll tear you into pieces. He was so angry that he gritted his teeth. It was at the last moment that the snow-white monkey stole his 1,000-beast fruit. That fruit was extremely precious, and it was something he used to attract other monsters. Now that it was stolen by the little white monkey, how could he not be angry? However, with his current identity and condition, he could not track it, so he could only give up. For him, the most important thing now was to heal his injuries. Lin Xian and the other two's terrifying attacks were powerful, causing him to suffer heavy internal injuries. If he did not have a secret technique to escape, he would have died here today. His body turned into a blood-red ray, and the red-robed man quickly left Blackfeather City. Lin Xian and the other two finally arrived at a safe place and breathed a sigh of relief. Nice to meet the two of you. I am Yi Qian Xing, the azure-armored man said. Lin Xian, Zhang Yuding. The three of them got to know each other. Brother Lin, Miss Jiang, I still have something to do. I'll take my leave first. The green-armored man quickly left. Lin Xian was just thinking about how to deal with this genius girl of the Jiang family. Suddenly, Zhang Yuding's face changed, revealing a very anxious expression. And she exclaimed and quickly summoned the multicolored peacock from the demonic beast pouch. With a flash of light, the 5-colored peacock appeared on the ground. At this moment, it was not in a good state. Its originally bright feathers had become pitch black, and its eyes were dim without a trace of light. What was even more serious was that there was an inextinguishable purple flame in his body that was currently tormenting his body. How are you? Zhang Yuding asked anxiously. She could also feel the purple flames inside the peacock's body, but she didn't know what to do. The peacock had grown up with her and could be considered her good friend. Furthermore, the five-colored peacock was an ancient mutated species that was abnormally precious. Regardless of the reason, Zhang Yuding did not wish for anything to happen to the five-colored peacock. However, the more anxious she was, the more serious the five-colored peacock's injuries became. In the end, Zhang Yuding burst into tears. Looking at the crying Zhang Yuding and the five-colored peacock lying on the ground in abnormally terrible pain, Lin Xian rubbed his nose helplessly. Lord Alcohol, do you have a solution? Lin Xian asked with a voice transmission. Who am I? Of course I have a solution. Lord Alcohol snorted coldly. However, this purple flame is extremely strange. Furthermore, it has an inextinguishable aura, so it's rather troublesome to deal with. It's good that you have a solution. Lin Xian felt relieved. Well, I might have a way to treat it, Lin Xian said to Zhang Yuding. Really? Do you really have a solution? Zhang Yuding looked up. Crystal-clear teardrops still hung on her beautiful face, making her look very pitiful. Lin Xian was slightly taken aback. She was indeed a beauty. She looked so beautiful even when she cried. Taking a deep breath, he nodded silently. That's great. Hurry up and treat it. Zhang Yuding suddenly stood up and grabbed Lin Xian's hand tightly. Don't be agitated. Let me examine it carefully, Lin Xian said with a smile as he felt the strange warmth coming from his hand. Oh. Zhang Yuding calmed down and realized that she was still holding Lin Xian's hand. She immediately blushed and quickly retracted her hand. Lin Xian smiled and did not expose her. Instead, he slowly squatted down and stroked the five-colored peacock's feathers. His robust soul power slowly spread out. While he was doing so, Lord Alcohol could also sense everything through his soul power. As expected of a three-headed vermilion bloodbird, this flame has a trace of destructive aura. Any other demonic beast would have died long ago. Even a Class 7 demonic beast wouldn't be able to withstand this power. Thankfully, this five-colored peacock is also an ancient mutated species. Its bloodline is extremely powerful, so it can withstand it. However, it's still too young. Some of its potential hasn't been stimulated. If too much time passes, it might leave behind serious injuries. When that happens, its growth potential will probably reach its limit. Hee, Lord Alcohol, don't we have you? No matter how serious the injuries are, as long as you take action, it'll be easy, Lin Xian said with a smile. This flattery feels good. Say a few more. Lord Nine snorted. Lin Xian rolled his eyes. He began asking for a way to save it. To treat this peacock, we have to first remove the purple flames in its body. Then, we have to use pills to nurse it back to health. Therefore, the most important thing is how to remove the purple flames, said Lord Alcohol. How do we remove it? Lin Xian asked. To remove the flames, we have to use items of extreme cold. However, you don't need to use such things. Your sword intent is based on the Great Dragon Sword Seal, so it can extinguish the purple flames in this peacock's body. However, you have to be careful when using your sword intent. You mustn't harm it at all. After receiving the answer, Lin Xian slowly stood up. It can be treated, but we have to bring it to a safe place first. Zhang Yuding nodded. She knew that the treatment process wouldn't be easy, so she couldn't be disturbed. Follow me. My house is nearby. Zhang Yuding put away the five-colored peacock and quickly ran with Lin Xian. Soon, the two of them arrived at the Zhang family residence. Looking at the majestic and domineering door, Lin Xian revealed a strange expression. In just a day, he was here again. However, his identity was completely different this time. Miss. When the guards saw Zhang Yuding, they all bowed and greeted her. Miss? It seems like this girl's status isn't low. Lin Xian revealed a thoughtful look. He had another reason for treating the five-colored peacock. Chapter 390. Because Zhang Yuding was a disciple of the Zhang clan, he wanted to find Zhang Sanfeng through her. Zhang Yuding nodded slightly and then quickly pulled Lin Xian into the Jiang manor. What did I just see? The young mistress is pulling a young man in. That's impossible. I must be dreaming. The two guards panicked. Doesn't the young mistress hate those men? Why is she walking with a strange man? The guards did not know Lin Xian, so they did not know that Lin Xian had been here once. Entering the Jiang manor, Zhang Yuding led Lin Xian into the depths of the manor. Soon, the two came to an exquisite pavilion. Lin Gongzi, please come in. Zhang Yuding pushed the door open. Lin Xian chuckled and quickly walked in. However, when he entered, he was clearly stunned. Inside the room, there were pink decorations everywhere, and there was a faint fragrance in the air. This was clearly a woman's boudoir. Needless to say, this must be Zhang Yuding's room. Looks like this chick must be in a hurry to bring a stranger into her boudoir. Lin Xian looked around curiously and found that the decorations in the room were very exquisite. Although it was not luxurious, it had a simple and elegant aura. After closing the door and windows, Zhang Yuding once again summoned the five-colored peacock, and a pair of gem-like eyes stared at Lin Xian. Lin Gongzi, hurry up and save it. Lin Xian nodded and began to activate his sword will to save the five-colored peacock. While Lin Xian was saving the five-colored peacock, the entire Jiang manor was in a state of jubilation. At this time, the Jiang clan was holding a family meeting, and it was very lively. In addition to the dozens of branches, there were other forces in Blackfeather City who came to watch. The seats were full, and the Jiang clan leader, Zhang Tianyu, looked around with joy. Good swordsmanship. This competition is much better than before. A middle-aged man laughed loudly. This man was the lord of the Eagle Fortress, Eagle Mountain. The Eagle Fortress was also an overlord in Blackfeather City and had business dealings with the Jiang clan. Compared to the disciples of the Eagle Fortress, these kids are still lacking a lot. Zhang Tianyu replied with a smile. At this moment, Zhang Jian was fighting in the arena. His opponent was a Greenwater Lake disciple. Zhang Jian brandished his sword, and the silver light in the sky formed dots of light that pierced into the void. In an instant, the Greenwater Lake disciple was surrounded by silver sword auras from all directions. He could only raise his defenses and was forced to resist. Boom! The silver light slashed down, piercing through the disciple's defensive barrier and sending him flying. This brat doesn't seem to be a disciple of your Greenwater Lake? Eagle Castle's castle master Ing Taizhan was astonished. A main clan disciple was actually defeated by a branch disciple. Jiang clan head, your disciples aren't that great. Next to him, a red-haired man sneered. This burly man was full of energy, and his voice was burning hot. As he spoke, the surrounding air trembled. This person was from the Red Leaves aristocratic family. The Red Leaves aristocratic family and the Jiang clan were both part of the four aristocratic families of the Dragon Star superpower nation. At this moment, it was normal for words to provoke each other. The main clan's branch disciples are all disciples of my Jiang clan. It doesn't matter who wins or loses. Zhang Tianyu looked magnanimous. The red-haired man sneered, not believing his words at all. As a disciple of an aristocratic family, he obviously knew the difference between a branch disciple and a main clan disciple. Which branch is this young man from? Zhang Tianyu asked the person next to him. Clan head, he's a disciple of the Green Mountain City branch. Zhang Tianyu nodded. His sword technique is not bad. You can pay more attention to him. The purpose of holding the clan assembly was to find genius disciples from the various branches and nurture them to serve the clan. Therefore, any disciple who performed outstandingly in the clan assembly would be heavily nurtured by the Jiang clan. Zhang Li is here. Looks like that brat is going to lose. Eagle Castle's castle master was excited. Next to him, there was an arrogant young man looking at the arena with a trace of disdain. On the arena, a young man in a white robe appeared with a green bamboo in his hand. Not bad, but you'll stop here, Zhang Li said calmly. Zhang Jian held his long sword tightly with a serious expression. He could feel the pressure coming from the young man opposite him. It was stronger than Jiang Hong's aura. Another core disciple. Zhang Jian felt bitter in his heart. There were 10 core disciples in the Jiang clan. Each of them was stronger than the others. Although Jiang Hong was strong, He was only ranked 9th among the core disciples, and the person in front of him was ranked even higher. Take my strongest attack. Silver Dragon goes to the sea. Jiang Jian raised his hands and struck out his strongest attack. The starlight in the sky intertwined and formed a silver dragon that charged forward furiously. This move caused the disciples below the arena to exclaim. But Zhongli just looked at the sky and smiled faintly. He waved the green bamboo cane in his hand, forming bamboo shadows that filled the sky. Ripples appeared on the surface of the jade-green light, forming a powerful impact force. With a swing of the staff, the green bamboo shadows that filled the sky hit the silver Jiao dragon and instantly dispersed it. Seeing his strongest attack being scattered, Jiang Jian's face turned pale, and he couldn't help but take a few steps back. The gap between them was too big. He was no match for Zhongli. Your sword art is not bad, but your cultivation base is too low. Wait until you reach the late harmonious spirit realm, Zhongli said calmly. From the beginning to the end, he was very calm. Obviously, he didn't care about this match at all. Jiang Jian laughed bitterly. For some reason, a figure appeared in his mind. It was a handsome young man in a black robe. He held a broken sword in his hand, and his aura was very sharp. If it's him, can he defeat Zhongli? Jiang Jian guessed. Shaking his head, he walked down the arena with a disappointed face. Worthy of being one of the 10 core disciples of the Green Water Lake, he defeated that person with one strike. It seems like Zhang Li's cultivation base has improved a lot. The fort master of the Eagle Fort said with a smile. Li is not bad, but he's still not as good as Xiaoxiong. Uncle Jiang, you flatter me. The young man in a black robe beside the fort master said. Although he spoke modestly, his eyes were full of pride. Uncle Jiang, why didn't Yuding come? Xiaoxiong asked. That girl likes to run around. I don't know where she is now. Although she likes to play, she knows what's important. I think she'll be here soon. She's not young anymore. It's time for her to find a husband. The fort master said with a smile. Xiaoxiong has always liked Ting. It'll be great if they can be together. Hearing this, Xiaoxiong's face showed a trace of excitement. The surrounding elders also had different expressions. It seemed like the Eagle Fort wanted to form a marriage alliance. However, Zhang Tianyu just smiled faintly. I don't mind, but I need Ting approval. All right, Ting is still young. I don't want her to get married so early. Let's not talk about this anymore. Let's watch the match. Zhang Tianyu changed the topic. Everyone looked at the arena again. Chapter 391. There were a lot of young talents in this family meeting. Other than Jiang Jian, Zhang Yiha's performance was also outstanding. He was the most eye-catching disciple outside of the top 10 core disciples. I heard that there is a genius swordsman in Cold Wind City. Why didn't I see him in the competition? An elder was puzzled. I think Zhang Hong's condition is not very good. His attacks are fiercer than before. What's wrong with him? Many elders were puzzled. I heard that before the family meeting, there was a strange teenager who caused havoc in the Jiang mansion. He even injured a few disciples and elders. Doesn't the patriarch know? The red-haired man sneered. This was too embarrassing. Hearing this, Zhang Tianyu frowned. Is there such a thing? Soon, someone came to report. Yes, there is such a thing. That teenager was brought here by the branch of Green Mountain City, but he had a conflict with the people of Cold Wind City. That teenager was injured by a swordsman genius disciple and an elder of Cold Wind City. To be able to defeat a swordsman genius and an elder, could it be another young expert? But when did Blackfeather City have such a genius? Everyone was puzzled. What's his cultivation? Zhang Tianyu asked. That teenager's cultivation is only at the early harmonious spirit realm, but his swordsmanship is extraordinary. What? Early harmonious spirit realm? Everyone was shocked. To be able to challenge someone who was 2 small realms higher than him and win, this news was too shocking. Where is he now? Zhang Tianyu asked in a deep voice. Although he was also surprised by the teenager's combat strength, he couldn't ignore the fact that he had injured his disciples and elders in the Jiang mansion. That young man left, but at that time, young Master Zhang Hong tried to stop him, but in the end, he failed. Zhang Hong tried to stop him? Zhang Tianyu was slightly surprised. The elders' faces also changed. They knew Zhang Hong's ability. Being able to enter the top 10 core disciples was enough to prove his strength. Even so, he still couldn't stop the mysterious teenager. This made them shocked. Even Zhang Hong couldn't stop him. Interesting. Ing Shaoxiang was slightly interested. Zhang Tianyu's face didn't look good. Nobody told him such important information. Moreover, it was the Red Leaves who said it in public. This made the Zhang family lose face. We can't just let this matter go like this. After the clan assembly, you guys post a notice to arrest this young man. Patriarch. The disciple who came to report wanted to say something but hesitated. Is there anything else? Speak. Zhang Tianyu said in a deep voice. This time, he didn't want to miss any more information. It said that the mysterious young man fought with the disciples of Cold Wind City because of medicinal pills. Medicinal pills? Everyone was puzzled. Zhang Tianyu continued to ask, what kind of medicinal pill? Tell me clearly. It said that the young man has a mysterious master who can concoct pills that can increase the cultivation of harmonious spirit realm. It seems that the two genius disciples of Qingshan City took this pill, and their cultivation base increased by a small realm. What? A pill that can increase the cultivation of the harmonious spirit realm. Everyone exclaimed in shock. Continue. Zhang Tianyu said in a deep voice. After Cold Wind City and the other branches received the news, they requested that young man to refine them. Moreover, at that time, young Master Zhang Hong also asked that young man to refine pills. However, that young man did not agree, resulting in a conflict. Zhang Hong? All the elders frowned. They knew Zhang Hong's temper very well. His words must have been very strong, otherwise, the result would not have been like this. Is the information true? Zhang Tianyu asked. It should be. The people of Qingshan City are very respectful to him. Bring the elders of Qingshan City here. Zhang Tianyu said. Soon, the third elder and Zhang Sihai were brought in front of everyone. Have you ever asked anyone to concoct pills that can increase the cultivation of harmonious spirit realm? Zhang Tianyu asked. The third elder and Zhang Sihai's body trembled. They knew that they couldn't hide it anymore, so they had to tell everything. Everyone was very surprised. Their eyes were full of passion. Is it really concocted by that young man himself? Zhang Tianyu asked again. The third elder and Zhang Sihai nodded to show that they were sure. Being able to concoct such a miraculous pill at such a young age, it seems that he must have a very powerful master. The Eagle Fort Lord guessed. Send someone to find that young man now. Pay attention to your attitude and be humble. You must invite him to our Zhang family. Zhang Tianyu ordered. At the same time, the Red Leaves family and the Eagle Fort Lord also quietly sent out orders. This young man who knew how to concoct miraculous pills, if they could teach him well, it would be very beneficial to their family. Moreover, the Zhang family had just offended this young man, so the Red Leaves family had a greater chance. The red-headed man sneered. Next, the disciples of Cold Wind City and Zhang Hong were called in for questioning. The more Zhang Tianyu listened, the angrier he became. What a bunch of useless people. Such an important person was actually driven away by you. His face showed a trace of anger. It seems that I have been too lax with your discipline. Originally, this young man was brought here by Qingshan City, and his attitude towards Zhang family was not bad, but because of these arrogant and despotic disciples, he was forced to leave. The family meeting is over. All of you go and reflect on your mistakes. The disciples of Cold Wind City were so scared that they didn't dare to speak. Zhang Hong deeply lowered his head, and a trace of ruthlessness appeared in his eyes. All of you go. Zhang Tianyu waved his hand. The family meeting continued, but the people who were present didn't have the mood to watch the competition. Why hasn't Ting Er come yet? Go and call her here. Zhang Tianyu said. Immediately, a disciple respectfully replied and quickly left. No need, father. I'm back. An intimate voice called out. Hearing this voice, all the elders laughed. It must be that little lass Yuding. When Ing Shaoxiang heard this voice, he was so excited that his whole body trembled. He excitedly turned his head to look. However, when he saw Zhang Yuding, his whole person became unwell. Not only him, But even Jiang Tianyu and the others were stunned, because beside Jiang Yuding stood an unfamiliar young man, and the two of them seemed to be very close. Everyone was puzzled. When did Yuding make such a friend? Ing Xiaoxiong's face immediately became gloomy. Everyone knew that he liked Jiang Yuding. Although Yuding didn't like him, she didn't walk too close to other young men. But today, she actually walked so close to an unfamiliar young man. Ing Xiaoxiong couldn't stand it. Who are you? How dare you stay by Yuding's side? Get lost. Ing Xiaoxiong coldly shouted. Who stays by my side? What does it have to do with you? Jiang Yuding rolled her eyes at him, then turned her head and gently said, Lin Gongzi, ignore him. Ing Xiaoxiong was so angry that his whole body trembled. Yuding had never spoken to him so gently. Chapter 392. The Eagle Fort's fort master's face also darkened. He coldly shouted, Xiaoxiong, sit down. Pay attention to your status. All right, don't blame Xiaoxiong. Jiang Tianyu waved his hand and then turned to ask Ting who is this young master? As the clan leader, Jiang Tianyu's attitude was still considered gentle. Father, he's Lin Xian. He's my benefactor. Benefactor? Everyone was puzzled. An elder quickly said, Yuding, could it be that you've been tricked? Jiang Yuding shook her head. He's indeed my benefactor. He saved an and was naturally the multicolored peacock. That was Jiang Yuding's treasure. And is injured. What happened? Tell me in detail. Jiang Tianyu walked in again. Too many things had happened in this clan assembly, and every one of them was unusual. Father, you should have heard the explosion in the south of the city, right? Hearing this, everyone was shocked. The explosion from before had indeed stunned them. However, they had investigated and found no clues. You were there at that time. Jiang Tianyu's expression changed. Hearing this, everyone looked at Jiang Yuding. Jiang Yuding stuck out her tongue and said, at that time, and was very anxious about that place, so I could only go and take a look. Child, why do you always ask so many questions? What if something happened to you? How am I going to explain it to your mother? Jiang Tianyu was anxious. Father, I'm fine. Jiang Yuding continued. There was a red-robed freak in that courtyard. She was the one who led us there. There was also a three-headed bird that wanted to eat and the other demonic beasts. After that, and was injured in the battle. It was this Lin Gongzi who treated her. Yuding quickly explained the whole story. Many thanks to young hero Lin for saving Anan. This old man thanks you. Jiang Tianyu said, Senior, you're too polite. Lin Xian smiled. Seeing the change in the Jiang clan's attitude towards Lin Xian, Ing Xiaoxiong's heart burned with anger. He wanted to go up and slap him to death. Fortunately, Eagle Castle's castle master Ing Taizhan stopped him with his eyes. But Ing Xiaoxiong's sinister eyes showed that he would not let this matter rest. Good boy, you dare to fight with me over Yuding. No matter who you are, you're dead. Ing Xiaoxiong roared in his heart. Lin Xian used the great dragon sword to extinguish the purple flames in the multicolored peacock's body, and then used a pill to heal its body. After the multicolored peacock was out of danger, he followed Jiang Yuding to this place. Moreover, he already knew that Jiang Yuding was actually the daughter of Jiang Tianyu, the clan leader of the Jiang clan. Her status was even higher than he had imagined, which was very beneficial for him to find Jiang Sanfeng. Young hero Lin, where did you learn from? Your skills are so superb. This old man is truly impressed. The Eagle Fortress's fort master asked. Naturally, he wanted to find out more about Lin Xian's background. I'm just a country bumpkin. There's no need to talk about it. Lin Xian shook his head with a smile. Country bumpkin? I think you're just a country bumpkin. You cured the multicolored peacock with just luck. Do you think you can win Yuding's heart? Ing Xiaoxiong snorted coldly. There were also some elders in the Jiang clan who looked at Lin Xian with gloomy expressions. They originally supported Ing Xiaoxiong, and Lin Xian's appearance made them very uncomfortable. Young hero Lin has helped us. Why don't we let him go to the treasury to get some spiritual stones? We, the Jiang family, as one of the major forces in Blackfeather City, can't afford to offend them, a thin elder said. His name was Jiang Da, and he was very supportive of the marriage between the Jiang clan and the Eagle Fortress. Therefore, He was hostile to anyone who approached Jiang Yuding. Father, I invited him to watch the clan's competition. What should I do if you do this? Jiang Yuding said coquettishly. All right, all right. Young hero Lin, please take a seat. Jiang Tianyu had no choice but to agree to his daughter's request. Sir, please don't. We invited all the famous clans here. He's just a country bumpkin. How can he sit with these people? Jiang De objected. Lin Xian frowned slightly. This old man had repeatedly jumped out to stop him, and he was very disgusted. I'm afraid it has something to do with the Eagle Fortress. Lin Xian's soul was very strong. He could sense the expressions of these people, and he knew what the Eagle Fortress and the elders were thinking. Since someone doesn't welcome me, I think we should forget about it. Yuding, I'll take my leave first. Lin Xian smiled and shrugged. Yuding is not for you to call her that. Ing Xiaoxiong's eyes were burning with anger. He wanted to kill Lin Xian. Men, give young hero Lin 3,000 mid-grade spiritual stones. Elder Jiang De shouted. No need. Lin Xian coldly refused. I thought the Jiang clan was a famous clan, but now it seems that they are so narrow-minded. What a joke. What did you say? Jiang De was anxious. Brat, don't think that you can be so presumptuous here just because you saved the 5-colored peacock. Suddenly, a huge pressure pressed down on Lin Xian. Is this how the Jiang clan treats their guests? Lin Xian smiled, not fearing the huge pressure at all. Father, Jiang Yuding anxiously shouted. All right, everyone stop. Jiang Tianyu coldly shouted, suppressing everyone. I know what you guys are thinking, but young hero Lin did save Anan. What's wrong with sitting down and watching the competition? Everyone was silent. Jiang De sinisterly said, since the sir has spoken, then young hero Lin should sit down. After saying that, he pointed to the seat at the end of the hall. It was very remote and could not even be called a seat. Lin Xian's face darkened. This old man was obviously making things difficult for him, and he wanted him to back off. I didn't come here to be bullied. You want me to sit in that place? Lin Xian was so angry that he laughed. Brat, who do you think you are? Letting you sit there is already giving you face. Ing Xiaoxiong coldly snorted. Is there no one else in the Jiang clan? Letting an outsider shout here? Lin Xian sneered. The elders' hearts tightened. They supported the Eagle Fortress, so they did not feel that Ing Xiaoxiong's actions were inappropriate. However, in the eyes of outsiders, it was extremely inappropriate. This was the Jiang residence, and it was the Jiang clan's clan assembly. It was indeed inappropriate for Ing Xiaoxiong to shout repeatedly. Hee, there is indeed no one in the Jiang clan. On the side, the red-haired man sneered. Xiaoxiong, shut up. Ing Taizhan coldly shouted. Brat, you are courting death. After you leave the Jiang clan, let's see if you can still be so arrogant. Ing Xiaoxiong threatened. Jiang De also changed the topic. If you don't want to sit there, where do you want to sit? We're all big shots here, and we're all famous people. Do you think there is a place for you here? Letting you sit there is already very polite. I will not sit there. If I want to sit, I will sit here. After saying that, Lin Xian pointed to Jiang Da's seat. Brat, you dare. Elder Jiang Da was so angry that he jumped. Chapter 393. Jiang Tianyu also frowned slightly, but he still said in a deep voice, Young hero Lin, why don't you go down to the guest seats? The Jiang clan disciples are all there. Maybe you can make some friends. Lin Gongzi, it's boring to sit here. Why don't we go down and play? Jiang Yuding tugged on Lin Xian's sleeve and said. This scene made Ing Xiaoxiong's eyes even gloomier. All right, then let's go down and sit. Lin Xian smiled. Then, he turned to the elder and said, for the sake of clan leader Yuding, I'll go down to the guest seats. However, I think you'll invite me up very soon. I hope you can still be so insistent. After saying that, Lin Xian turned and walked down to the young disciples' seats. Looking at Lin Xian's back, many elders showed disdain. Elder Jiang sneered. You want to come back? You're dreaming. Men, go and find out who he is and what his motive is for approaching Mississippi immediately. 2 disciples left quickly. When Lin Xian was on the guest seats, he had already attracted everyone's attention. However, his back was facing the crowd, so they didn't recognize him at all. When he walked to the disciples' seats, many people exclaimed softly. Among them, the most surprised were the branch disciples from Green Mountain City and Cold Wind City. They looked at Lin Xian as if they had seen a ghost. It had only been a day, and Lin Xian was back. Moreover, he seemed to have hooked up with Miss Jiang. When Jiang Hong saw this, he was so shocked that he stood up. His body trembled slightly, and he didn't know what to say. "Brat, you dare to come back." Jiang Hong's tone was cold. "Why? You know each other?" Jiang Yuding was confused. "Yuding, why are you with him?" Jiang Hong's voice was filled with confusion. The other disciples also came and went. Among them, a few core disciples saw this scene and frowned. "Scram, a good dog doesn't block the way," Lin Xian said to Jiang Hong, who was in the middle. The surrounding disciples were in an uproar. Jiang Hong was one of the core disciples, and his strength was frightening. Now, there was actually someone who dared to reprimand him in public. This caused many people to have a surreal feeling. Those core disciples also looked over. Jiang Hong's bad temper was well known among them. Now that he was being ridiculed like this, he would definitely explode on the spot. Who is this brat? How dare he speak like that? Isn't he afraid that Jiang Hong will kill him with a single palm strike? I don't know, but given how arrogant he is, even if he were to be beaten to death, it wouldn't matter, right? Those disciples were all in the mood of watching a show. "Brat, you're courting death." Jiang Hong's face flushed red when he heard this. A layer of purple ripples appeared on his body, spinning rapidly. Every time it spun, a terrifying aura would leak out. "You dare to make a move?" Lin Xian looked at him with a smile that was not a smile. There was no fear on his face. The exchange earlier made him understand Jiang Hong's strength like the back of his hand. Although Jiang Hong was very powerful in the eyes of others, it was not difficult for him to deal with him. Looking at that smiling face, Jiang Hong's body trembled, but he did not make a move immediately. Firstly, he had exchanged blows with Lin Xian and did not gain any advantage. Moreover, Lin Xian could refine miraculous pills. His identity was very special. If it was exposed, the entire Jiang family would definitely treat him like a distinguished guest. If he made a move at this time, the family would definitely punish him. Thinking of the patriarch's furious look, Jiang Hong unconsciously shuddered. "I'm warning you. You better stay away from Yuding." Jiang Hong's tone was cold. However, he did not make a move in the end. Humph! With a cold snort, Jiang Hong sat down angrily and no longer looked at Lin Xian. Everyone was stunned and then rubbed their eyes hard. This result was something they never expected. "No way, I didn't see wrongly. That brat Jiang Hong actually didn't make a move?" A short-haired core disciple opened his mouth wide. Beside him, several other core disciples were also frowning. This matter is too illogical. There must be a demon behind this abnormality. Who is this brat? Not only can he walk together with Yuding, but he can also suppress Jiang Hong. Just as everyone was shocked on the rostrum, the two disciples who investigated Lin Xian also returned with panicked expressions. Elder, it's not good." The two of them cried out. "What's the matter? Why are you in such a panic? Does that brat really have a background?" Jiang De frowned. Everyone also turned their heads to look. They were also very curious about Lin Xian's identity. "That brat is the alchemist who injured the Cold Wind City's disciples." "What?" Everyone was stunned. Zhang Tianyu furrowed his brows. He never would have thought that the person who was with his daughter was the mysterious alchemist she had always wanted to find. The Eagle Fort's fort master, Im Taizhan, had a gloomy face. He originally wanted to secretly find that alchemist and establish a good relationship with him. Now it seemed that it was impossible. "Father, what should we do?" "I didn't know that brat was an alchemist," Ing Shaoxiong said in exasperation. "Forget it. It's too late to regret now." The Eagle Fort's fort master said in a deep voice. "Now we can only try our best to rope him in." Zhang Da's face was gloomy and uncertain. Thinking back to what Lin Xian said before he left, his face became very ugly. If Lin Xian didn't have any status, what he said would be a joke. But now, Lin Xian's identity turned out to be an alchemist that everyone wanted to rope in. Now, everyone would definitely welcome him with a smile. Thinking that he would give up his seat to a brat, Jiang De had the urge to kill himself by banging his head on tofu. What are you waiting for? Hurry up and invite young hero Lin back. Jiang Tianyu shouted coldly. Immediately, the two deacons moved quickly and rushed to the guest seats. In the guest seats, those people were still looking at Lin Xian in surprise. At this time, two middle-aged deacons walked over from afar with a trace of nervousness between their brows. It seemed that they were coming for Lin Xian. This kid didn't do anything wrong, did he? Even the deacons were alerted. The few core disciples were puzzled again. Zhang Hong's eyes flashed. He knew that the elders in the family must have known about Lin Xian's identity and were here to invite him. The two deacons came in front of Lin Xian and were very polite. Lin Gongzi, the patriarch invites you to the main guest seat. What? Everyone was stunned, as if there was something wrong with their ears. The main guest seat was a place where only the elders of the family and the leaders of Blackfeather City could sit. An unknown kid was going to such a place and was personally invited by the patriarch. Who was this kid? These people were not fools. To be able to sit at the main guest seat, he must be of high status. No wonder Zhang Hong didn't dare to do anything. He already knew. Everyone suddenly realized, it can't be. Father is really inviting you? Zhang Yuding also had a look of surprise on her face. She stared at Lin Xian with her large, gem-like eyes. Under the envious gaze of the crowd, Lin Xian walked to the main guest seat. Chapter 394. Lin Gongzi, why didn't you say you were an alchemist earlier? It's not good to have such a big misunderstanding now. A few elders greeted him with smiles. They were all under Jiang Tianyou's orders to give Lin Xian face. Haha, young hero Lin is a young genius. I'm impressed that you can refine the legendary three-striped hollow spirit forest pill. We were reckless earlier. Lin Xian smiled and walked in front of Elder Jiangda. I said I'll be back. I wonder if you can give up your seat this time? Elder Jiangda's face was red. He originally mocked Lin Xian for having no background and being a village bumpkin, but now, Lin Xian was invited back by the clan leader. Moreover, he was standing in front of him and asking him to give up his seat. Jiangda felt stifled in his heart. He wished he could slap Lin Xian with his palm. However, Jiang Tianyou's eyes were fixed on him. His meaning was obvious. He wanted him to give up his seat. Elder Jiangda gritted his teeth, but he had no choice. For the sake of the clan, he had to sacrifice his dignity. I'll bear with it today. I'll get my revenge one day. Jiangda roared in his heart. He gritted his teeth and said hatefully, Lin Gongzi, forget it. I'm not a vengeful person. I won't argue with you. I won't take this seat. Before Jiangda could speak, Lin Xian said quickly. Quickly thank young hero Lin. Jiang Tianyu snorted. Thank you young hero Lin. Jiangda gritted his teeth. Hearing that, Lin Xian turned and left. He found two empty seats and sat down with Zhang Yuding. The surrounding people's mouths twitched. Zhang Da's face darkened. He felt suffocated and almost vomited blood. This kid is definitely doing it on purpose. Elder Jiangda roared in his heart. Originally, he was struggling in his heart. Finally, he couldn't take the pressure and wanted to give in. At this moment, Lin Xian actually took the initiative and magnanimously said that he had forgiven him. That magnanimity made him look like a villain. Forgive your sister. Elder Jiangda almost went berserk, but she had already left. Who could he throw a tantrum at? He could only sit down angrily. The hard stone chair creaked as he sat down. After Lin Xian sat down, he began to watch the match on the stage with great interest. At this moment, the two contestants were core disciples. That terrifying aura pervaded the entire arena. Every move they made actually carried a kind of special concept. Lin Xian was slightly surprised. The techniques of the two people fighting on the stage were incomparably profound. One of them waved his palms, which were covered with glazed patterns. The wind from his palms carried a trace of strange heat. Although it couldn't compare to the purple eternal flames of the three-headed vermilion bloodbird, it was still much stronger than ordinary flames. This is a concept, the concept of fire. Lin Xian's eyes narrowed as he carefully felt this mysterious power. The other person wasn't bad either. He held an emerald green bamboo cane in his hand and waved it out, filling the sky with bamboo shadows, blocking all of the strange and scorching flames outside. This is the wind shadow concept. Lin Xian was surprised again. As expected of a top family, they actually have such a powerful disciple. Lin Xian carefully felt and didn't miss a single detail. He even used his eye technique to firmly remember the moves that contained the concept of wind in his mind. Not only was Lin Xian surprised, but the others were also moved. Even the arrogant Ing Shaoxiang withdrew his disdain. These two people's concepts are not bad. Rare, rare. Eagle Fortress Lord Ing Taizhan said, Zhang Jie and Zhang Li are indeed not bad. I plan to send them to the main family this time to compete for a spot. Yeah, counting the days, it's about time to start again. I'm afraid the entire Dragon Star Nation will be lively. Ing Taizhan sighed. Although they are not bad, there is still a gap between them and true geniuses. At least in terms of cultivation, they are far behind. If they can increase their cultivation by another level, there might be some hope. Don't you still have Tinger? Her bloodline power is stronger than the average in Tint. Perhaps she can get a spot this time, said Eagle Castle's castle master, Ing Taizhan. Indeed, Tinger's bloodline power is very strong. That's why I plan to send her to the main family this time. Even if she can't get a spot with her talent, she should be heavily nurtured by the main family. However, the situation is different now. Zhang Tianyu then had a chance to go up against Lin Xian. Perhaps this is a chance given to me by the heavens. Lin Xian could concoct pills that could increase the cultivation of harmonious spirit realm. This was a life-saving straw for him. If the three most talented people in the Jiang Mansion were to consume this pill, their strength would definitely increase greatly. At that time, their chances of winning the competition would be greatly increased. Lin Xian naturally didn't know about Zhang Tianyu's little plan. At this moment, he was completely immersed in that mysterious realm. Not long after, his body emitted a green light. A faintly discernible wind force rushed out from his body and rapidly grew bigger. In the end, an ancient green qi flow surrounded his body with an indescribable aura. Lin Gongziyu. Zhang Yuding was shocked again. This scene naturally alarmed the others. When they saw the qi flow around Lin Xian's body and his demeanor, Zhang Tianyu, Ing Taizhan, and a few other big shots exclaimed, Enlightenment! It's actually enlightenment! Where did this young man come from? Zhang Tianyu was shocked. This realm was something that all warriors could only hope to achieve. Damn it, what kind of luck does this guy have? How could he achieve enlightenment? Ing Shaoxiang looked at Lin Xian with jealousy in his heart. Zhang family's disciples, listen up. No one is allowed to disturb Lin Xian. Zhang Tianyu ordered. Immediately, several martial artists with powerful auras stood around Lin Xian, protecting him well. The distant disciples and elders looked over with their eyes almost popping out of their sockets. This Lin Xian was too monstrous. He could actually make the elites of the Zhang family protect him. After a long time, a green light appeared in Lin Xian's eyes. The green qi flow around him formed a gust of wind and quickly dissipated. Lin Xian was ecstatic. He had finally comprehended the concept of wind. When he turned around and saw the many warriors protecting him, he couldn't help but look at Zhang Tianyu with kindness. Thank you, Zhang family head. Lin Xian bowed slightly. I have some enlightenment. Can I use the cultivation room? Lin Xian asked. Of course you can. Tinger, take Lin Gongzi. Zhang Yuding nodded and then took Lin Xian away. In the spacious cultivation room, Lin Xian used his fingers as a sword and quickly sent out several sword qis. Every sword seemed familiar, but they were all different. Some were like a gentle breeze, some were as swift as a gale, and some were as cold as a gale. Moreover, the speed of his sword was 3 times faster than usual. If he wanted to, he could make those sword lights disappear. Moreover, after comprehending the concept of wind, the power of his Wind Emperor sword had increased by 3 times. Even his great dragon sword intent had become more skillful than before. Now that he met a spirit transformation realm warrior, even if he couldn't defeat them, he wouldn't be in such a sorry state like before. My sword art has improved, but I lack a good sword. Lin Xian felt a little regretful. Chapter 395. His autumn scar sword was completely broken, but it was still in good condition. The grade of the sword seemed to not be able to keep up with his cultivation. It would be best if he could find a spirit-grade sword. Lin Xian believed that the Dragonstar Kingdom was rich in resources and would definitely have a good sword. Whatever, I should look for someone called Jiang Shanfeng in the Jiang family. Lin Xian walked out of the training room. He had been in the training room for 3 days, and the Jiang family's family meeting had already ended. The branch disciples and the other forces of Black Feather City had already left. Lin Xian was ready to find Jiang Tianyu and talk about the conditions. He knew that Jiang Tianyu wanted the 3-mark Spirit Void pill, and he wanted to know where Jiang Sanfeng was. As soon as Lin Xian came out, he was asked to leave by a servant. In the living room, Jiang Tianyu looked at Lin Xian with a fiery gaze, like a hungry wolf that had seen a beautiful woman. Lin Xian felt a chill run down his spine, and he could not help but laugh. Leader Jiang, I understand what you mean. I can make 3 Spirit Void pills for the Jiang family, but I would like to ask for a favor from you. Oh? What is it, young hero Lin? As long as I can do it, I will definitely help you. Jiang Tianyu did not expect Lin Xian to answer so quickly, so he did not reject Lin Xian's request. I see. Is there anyone called Jiang Sanfeng in the Jiang family? Also, this person is over 50 years old and has been to the Sky Mountain Kingdom. Jiang Tianyu was slightly confused, and he said in a deep voice, there is indeed someone called Jiang Sanfeng, but no one has been to the Sky Mountain Kingdom. I am sure of that. No one has been there? Lin Xian frowned. So the Jiang Sanfeng he was looking for was not in the Jiang family? Then where was this person? Was he in the main Jiang family? Or was he not even a member of the Jiang family? Was it possible that he was no longer there? At that moment, Lin Xian thought of all kinds of possibilities. Don't worry, young hero Lin. Although the person you're looking for isn't in our Greenwater Lake Jiang Mansion, Lin Feng said. However, as long as you help me refine the Spirit Void pill, I can help you get information from the other 2 clans in the Jiang family's main clan, Jiang Tianyu said. In order to obtain the 3-mark Spirit Void pill, Jiang Tianyu could be considered to have thrown caution to the wind. He patted his chest and guaranteed that he would definitely help Lin Xian find this person. All right. In the end, Lin Xian nodded in agreement. There is one more thing I would like to ask Patriarch Jiang, Lin Xian said again. Young hero Lin, feel free to ask. I wonder if clan leader Jiang of the Azure Dragon Association knows about this? Oh. Jiang Tianyu raised his eyebrows and looked at Lin Xian in surprise. Of course I know. The Azure Dragon Association is the golden age of the younger generation of the Tianan region. Every time they hold a meeting, the younger generation of the Longxing country will be busy fighting. I wonder if there are any other ways to participate in the Azure Dragon Society other than the fixed quota that each major faction has. Lin Xian asked this just in case. If he couldn't find Jiang Sanfeng, he also hoped to try if there were other ways to participate. The Azure Dragon Association has very strict requirements for the participants. Even the Longxing country only has a dozen or so quotas. However, there are no absolutes. The Azure Dragon Association does give some independent cultivators a chance, and that is the Dragon Platform. In some powerful countries, there will be a few Dragon Platforms for thousands of independent cultivators to fight for. The final winner can also participate in the Azure Dragon Association. However, this chance is even slimmer. The entire Longxing country only has 2 Dragon Platforms with a population of hundreds of millions. I see. There really are other ways. Lin Xian's heart calmed down a little. If there was really no other way, he could try the so-called Dragon Platform when the time came. Next, Lin Xian asked about the Dragon Platform in detail. Jiang Tianyu also told Lin Xian everything he knew. In his opinion, this information didn't have any special value because it was too difficult to climb the Dragon Platform. Although Lin Xian was exceptionally talented and was also an alchemy inscription master, it was almost impossible for him to climb the Dragon Platform. In the following days, Lin Xian stayed in the Jiang Manor. When the materials for refining pills were collected, he could start refining. Lin Xian agreed to the condition of refining 3 pills. For a large family like the Jiang clan of the Greenwater Lake, these materials were quickly found. Lin Xian also quickly refined 3 void spirit pills. This time, He didn't keep it for himself because this kind of pill could only be taken once. Taking it multiple times would have no effect. Zhang Tianyu also quickly gave an answer. There were a total of 3 people named Zhang Sanfeng who had been to the heavenly mountain country. One of them was a disciple of a branch family, but he was quickly eliminated by Lin Xian. Because this person was only in his 30s, his age didn't meet his requirements. The other 2 people met all his requirements. However, one of them was an elder of the Jiang clan's main branch and had a very high status. It was not easy to meet him. The other person was said to have left the Jiang manor many years ago. The goal was already very small. Finally, he locked onto the Jiang clan's main branch. Lin Xian was quite satisfied with this. He gave Zhang Tianyu 3 pills and prepared to leave. Zhang Tianyu thanked him again and welcomed Lin Xian to come back as a guest elder at any time. He didn't force Lin Xian to stay, saying that he also wanted to let the disciples of the clan prepare to compete for the Azure Dragon Association's spot in the competition. After leaving the Jiang manor, Lin Xian prepared to cultivate while heading to the Jiang clan's main branch. Just as he left the Jiang manor, he was stopped by someone. "Brother Lin, wait." Lin Xian turned around and found that it was Yi Qianxing who had fought with him that day. "Brother Lin, you finally came out. I've been waiting for a long time." Yi Qianxing said, "Brother Yi, why are you looking for me? It's like this. I have something I want to ask Brother Lin for help with." Yi Qianxing said, "What is it?" Lin Xian had a good impression of Yi Qianxing. "Brother Lin, let's find a quiet place to talk." Yi Qianxing glanced at the Jiang manor with a trace of vigilance in his eyes. "All right." Lin Xian nodded and the 2 of them walked into the distance. "Brother Lin, to be honest, I came here to ask your pet, that snow-white little monkey, to help." Yi Qianxing expressed his intentions. "Let the snow-white little monkey do it?" Lin Xian was slightly surprised. "What's the matter?" He did not immediately agree. Firstly, it was because he did not know the details, and secondly, the snow-white little monkey had fallen into a deep sleep after swallowing the longevity fruit. He did not know when he would wake up. "It's like this. We want to go and get something, but we're not fast enough. And that little monkey is the fastest one I've ever seen. Even I can't sense it, so I want to ask it to give it a try. It needs speed." Lin Xian frowned slightly. "Is it dangerous?" "There is danger, but if it can be done, I will definitely thank Brother Lin." Lin Xian frowned. To be honest, he did not want the snow-white little monkey to take the risk. Little White swallowed some strange fruits and has fallen into a deep sleep, and I don't know when it will wake up. Lin Xian tactfully refused. "How about this, Brother Lin? Come with me and wait for a few days. No matter if it succeeds or not, I will give Brother Lin a half-spirit sword." Chapter 396. Yi Qianxing had seen how Lin Xian had used the Gale Lightning sword technique and shattered the short sword in his hand. That was why he had said that. A half-spiritual ranked treasure sword? Lin Xian's heart was slightly moved. A half-spiritual artifact was indeed extraordinary, at least for his current state. If he had such an artifact, his strength would increase by a lot. Let's wait and see. If it's really dangerous, I'll reject it, Lin Xian thought to himself. All right, he nodded. But I can't guarantee that Xiaobai will wake up when the time comes. No problem. If she really can't wake up, it means that we aren't fated to obtain that item, Yi Qianxing said with a smile. With that said, he led Lin Xian to the outskirts of the city, east of Blackfeather City. In front of a quiet villa, Lin Xian narrowed his eyes as he looked at the dark walls. He felt a trace of coldness. Looking up, he saw a plaque above the door with the words Spirit Villa written on it. Brother Yi, are you taking me to hell? Lin Xian said half-jokingly. Why would I? Although this place is a little strange, I dare guarantee Brother Lin's safety with my life, Yi Qianxing said. Lin Xian was bold because of his skill. Furthermore, he had the guidance of a mysterious expert like Lord Alcohol, so he wasn't too afraid of Spirit Villa. He smiled and quickly walked in. Seeing Lin Xian's calm expression, Yi Qianxing was secretly surprised. This place was famous for its horror in Blackfeather City. Even those who didn't know about it would be too scared to enter just by sensing its aura. Lin Xian, on the other hand, didn't seem to be afraid at all as he walked straight in. After entering Spirit Villa, Lin Xian scanned the place and felt that the aura in the villa had become denser. Thankfully, he had the Grand Dragon Sword in tint that could destroy everything, so he wasn't afraid of it. This place isn't simple. Be careful. I sense a special aura, Lord Alcohol transmitted. A special aura? Lin Xian was puzzled. There's nothing wrong with Spirit Villa on the surface, but it's very unusual underneath. It seems like something is sealed here. Is it dangerous? Lin Xian asked. Yes, but danger often coexists with opportunity. It all depends on whether you can grasp it, Lord Alcohol said. Since I'm here, let's take a look. Lin Xian didn't plan on leaving immediately. Yi Qianqing led the way, and soon a building appeared in front of them. The buildings were completely black with some strange patterns on them. The building complex was empty all day long, as if there was no one there. Crack, crack. One of the doors opened, and a cold wind blew. This scene was indeed frightening. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes and used his eye technique to look inside. Welcome to the Mansion of Spirits. A slightly mechanical and cold voice sounded. Following that, a man, his Qian. Xian was Lin. What's this? Lin Xian was puzzled. He sensed that there was no flesh inside the metal block. It was all cold metal parts. Oh, this is Master Ghost's puppet creation. You can call him Black Iron Man, Yi Qianqing explained. Black Iron Man? Master Ghost? Lin Xian was even more puzzled. The owner of this villa is called Master Ghost. He's a refinement master. He likes to create metal puppets to be his servants. So that's how it is. No wonder there's no one in the villa. Lin Xian was enlightened. Report to Master Ghost that we are here, Yi Qianqing said to the Black Iron Man. Soon, the Black Iron Man left as though he was flying. Lin Xian was rather interested in the Black Iron Men. They didn't have bodies, but they could walk like humans. Furthermore, they could understand simple instructions. It was amazing. What's so special about that? It's just the simplest puppet art. The core technology is still the inscription array formation, Lord Alcohol said disdainfully. Soon, an elder with withered hair floated over like a ghost. He didn't make a sound. Furthermore, his entire body was thin. His dry skin stuck to his bones, making him look like a skeleton. Thankfully, Lin Xian was brave enough to not cry out. Yi Qianqing, who was beside him, was used to it. He said respectfully, Greetings, Elder Ghost. Oh, little Yi, why did you bring such a young child? Master Ghost looked at Lin Xian with a hint of displeasure in his tone. Elder Ghost, this young hero Lin's spirit beast is extremely fast. Perhaps it can help us, Yi Qianqing said. He's the kid you were talking about? Master Ghost turned to look at Lin Xian. The light in his eyes was like a will-o'-the-wisp that kept flickering. Summon your spirit beast and let me take a look. Master Ghost's voice had a dignified tone that left no room for doubt. Little White is in a deep slumber. It's not the time yet. Lin Xian shook his head and refused. Elder Ghost, Lin Gongzi's spirit beast might be evolving. Why don't we wait for a while? Yi Qianqing knew Master Ghost's temper, so he took the initiative to explain. All right, little E, I'll believe you this once. If this child can't produce anything when the time comes, don't blame me for breaking his neck. Master Ghost snorted coldly and floated away like a ghost. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. Master Ghost was mysterious in the eyes of others, but to him, there were no secrets. This was because Lord Alcohol, who was in his body, had long seen through everything. He's actually a warrior who cultivates in ghost-type cultivation techniques. That's rare. Lord Alcohol's tone had a hint of surprise. Kid, if he dares to make a move, just blast him with lightning, Lord Alcohol said. Young hero Lin, why don't you stay here for a few days? All right. Lin Xian nodded. He was curious about this place and was prepared to explore it. Hence, Lin Xian stayed. 3 days later, the snow-white monkey woke up. Although its appearance didn't change much from before, Lin Xian could sense that the snow-white monkey was different from before. Furthermore, its speed was faster, to the point that even he couldn't accurately perceive it. The snow-white monkey intimately rubbed Lin Xian's face, then pointed to the ground, looking very happy. There's treasure underground? Lin Xian was used to this. The snow-white monkey nodded, scratching its ears and cheeks, looking very anxious. Don't worry, you'll have your time to shine. Lin Xian scolded with a smile. Finally, he went to find Yi Qianqing and told him that the snow-white monkey had woken up. Furthermore, he had agreed to help him obtain the treasure. Yi Qianqing was very happy and immediately contacted Master Ghost. However, Master Ghost said that he had to wait because a mysterious big shot was coming. Lin Xian didn't care about this. After all, 1 or 2 more days didn't matter to him. Furthermore, he could take advantage of this time to further strengthen his wind concept. Just as Lin Xian was staying in Spectre Mountain Villa, the other forces in Blackfeather City were alarmed. Chapter 397. Lin Xian's identity was extraordinary, and the void spirit pills he refined had indeed allowed the 3 geniuses of the Jiang family to increase their cultivation by a small realm. This directly stimulated the people of the other factions. Many people impatiently looked for Lin Xian, ready to beg him to refine the void spirit pills. However, they received news that Lin Xian had entered the Mansion of Spirits. Everyone was a bit hesitant. The Ghost Master of the Mansion of Spirits was famous for his ferocity in Heiyu City. Moreover, the Mansion of Spirits was very strange, so they were not willing to go there without a special reason. The majestic castle was painted with eagles. This was the territory of the Eagle Fortress. Father, that brat has entered the Mansion of Spirits. I think he's most likely dead. He definitely won't be able to come out. Serves him right for trying to steal Yuding from me. Ing Xiaoxiong sneered. Although the pills were attractive to him, nothing was more important than Yuding. Actually, I hope he can come out alive. Yuding has taken the pills, and her cultivation has improved. Moreover, if she enters the main Jiang family in the future, the gap between you two will become bigger and bigger. At that time, even if no one interferes, you might not be able to get her, Ing Taizhan said in a deep voice. Now, I just hope that brat can come out safely so that he can refine a few void spirit pills. On the other side, in the Jiang family, Zhang Tianyu and the others also received news that Lin Xian had gone to the Mansion of Spirits. Zhang Yuding was very anxious after hearing this. Father, it must be very dangerous for Lin Xian to go there. Why don't we go and save him? Don't mess around. The Mansion of Spirits is not a place we can casually barge into, Zhang Tianyu said in a deep voice. But he has helped our family a lot. We can't just watch him fall into danger. Although the Mansion of Spirits is strange, the Mansion Master is not a spirit-detecting realm elite. Why should we be afraid of him? Tinger, you know everything. The Ghost Master of the Mansion of Spirits is strange and unpredictable. It's impossible to guard against him. Moreover, it is said that the Mansion of Spirits is a place of great danger. Something incredible is sealed there. It's not a place we can set foot in. In addition, his identity is very sensitive. It is said that he is inextricably linked to the Great Sect. Speaking of the Great Sect, Zhang Tianyu's frown deepened. Zhang Yuding also frowned and stomped her feet anxiously. The Daqi sect was one of the top 6 forces in the Longxing nation. Their strength was even above the Jiang clan's main clan. The Green Water Lake Jiang Mansion was only one of the Jiang family's subsects. Compared to the Great Banner sect, it was far inferior. Why would this fellow go to the Great Flag sect? Zhang Yuding was puzzled. Forget it. After all, we owe Lin Xian a debt of gratitude. I'll make a trip there. After saying that, Zhang Tianyu's figure flashed and disappeared from the hall. The Spectre Mountain Villa was filled with fog, and it was extremely cold. When he knew that Lin Xian was willing to help, a smile appeared on Master Ghost's withered face. However, that look was even uglier than crying. Like a ghost, he floated to Lin Xian's room. Kid, let your spirit beast come out and let me have a look. Master Ghost's voice was hoarse, like a poisonous snake rubbing against the ground. The little white monkey jumped out and looked at Master Ghost curiously. It then stuck out its tongue and made a funny face. What an uneducated, stinky monkey! Master Ghost's face darkened, and he suddenly stretched out his withered, steel-like claws. The air fluctuated slightly, and an ear-piercing sound was heard. Master Ghost was as fast as a ghost, and his steel-like black palm reached the little white monkey's head in an instant. The little white monkey showed disdain in its eyes, and with a whoosh, it disappeared. Master Ghost's withered face finally showed some emotion after he missed his target. At this moment, the little white monkey jumped onto the table at the side. Master Ghost stared at the little white monkey with his deep-set eyes. His eyes were flickering like ghost fire, which was extremely strange. He launched a few more strange attacks toward the little white monkey, but the little white monkey quickly dodged them all. At this moment, Master Ghost was extremely excited, and his withered face trembled slightly. As an expert in the spirit transformation stage, his attack speed was extremely fast, but even so, he still couldn't touch the little white monkey at all. Even an existence at the peak of the spirit transformation stage might not have such speed. Good, good, good. Master Ghost shouted 3 times in a low voice. He looked at the little white monkey as if he saw some hope. Boy, I didn't expect you to have such a rare beast. Master Ghost looked at Lin Xian, and his eyes softened a lot. I heard you're a swordsman? Master Ghost asked. Lin Xian nodded. Yes, I'm indeed a swordsman. If we succeed this time, I'll give you a spiritual level treasure sword. A spiritual level treasure sword. Lin Xian's pupil shrank. The nobility of a spiritual level treasure was well known. The black cloak behind him was a treasure weapon. With it, Lin Xian had avoided many dangers. Are you serious? Lin Xian asked excitedly. When have I ever lied to anyone? Besides, a spiritual level treasure weapon is nothing special to me. Master Ghost snorted coldly. Then I'll thank you, Senior. Don't be happy yet. The place we're going to is extremely dangerous. It's not certain if we can take it out. Maybe we won't be able to take it out, and we'll lose our lives. The little white monkey wasn't happy and gestured. It seemed to be saying that its ability was unique in the world, and it would be easy to get it. Xian also rubbed the little white monkey's head. I believe it. Master Ghost still wanted to say something, but at this moment, a loud voice came into the Mansion of Spirits. Jiang Tianyu of the Jiang Mansion requests to see Master Ghost. This voice was very clear, and it spread to every corner of the Mansion of Spirits. Jiang Mansion? Why is the Jiang family here at this time? Could it be that they also want the treasure? Master Ghost's face darkened. Lin Xian had a strange expression. He thought of a possibility. Could it be because of him? Sure enough, after a moment, Jiang Tianyu's loud voice sounded again. The young man Lin Xian who came in a few days ago is a guest of my Jiang Mansion. However, if he offended the Mansion of Spirits in any way, I hope that Master Ghost will forgive him for the sake of the Jiang family. As expected, Lin Xian smiled bitterly and touched his nose. Master Ghost looked at Lin Xian in surprise. Young man, it seems that there are quite a lot of people who care about you. Let's go. Follow me out. Outside the Mansion of Spirits, Jiang Tianyu stood with his hands behind his back and looked ahead. To be honest, he didn't have much hope in this matter. However, for Lin Xian, he decided to give it a try. In fact, such a big commotion had already attracted the attention of other forces. However, no one came out. They were all hiding in the dark to observe. It couldn't be helped. The Mansion of Spirits was very strange. Moreover, it was supported by a powerful sect. It wasn't a place where anyone could behave atrociously. Boom. Ghost fog rolled in the Mansion of Spirits, forming a dark cloud that floated to the outside world. Above the dark cloud, there was a skinny figure that emitted a cold and powerful aura. Beside him was a delicate and pretty youth with a snow-white little monkey sitting on his shoulder. Lin Xian. Everyone looked at the figure in the clouds. Chapter 398. At this moment, everyone was puzzled. Wasn't Lin Xian captured? Why was he standing beside Master Ghost without any injuries? Even Jiang Tianyu was stunned. Thank you for your kindness, clan leader Jiang. I'm fine here. I'm very safe, Lin Xian said loudly. He was indeed surprised that Jiang Tianyu had come to help him. He would remember this kindness in his heart. Young friend Lin is an honored guest of Mansion Spectre. I won't harm him. You can go back, Master Ghost said coldly. Everyone was stunned. When did Lin Xian become an honored guest of Mansion Spectre? However, Master Ghost didn't look like he was lying. There was no need for him to lie. What a mysterious young man. First, he was treated as an honored guest by Jiang family. Now, he was an honored guest of Mansion Spectre. I wonder what his true identity is. Jiang Tianyu was relieved when he saw that Lin Xian was fine. He said a few words and then left the Mansion of Spirits. Those forces hidden in the dark also retreated one after another. However, these people were regretful. Now that Lin Xian was an honored guest of Mansion Spectre, it would be much more difficult to get him to refine pills in the future. Moreover, no one dared to make things difficult for him. After all, Mansion Spectre was not to be trifled with. Moreover, he had the Great Banner sect behind him. Inside Mansion Spectre, Yi Qianxing left after sending Lin Xian over. Only Master Ghost and Lin Xian were alive in Mansion Spectre. The rest were mechanical puppets. 10 days later, a powerful aura descended on Mansion Spectre. Lin Xian's body tensed up. He felt an indescribable pressure as if countless mountains were pressing down on him. At the same time, the blood in his body was boiling. His blood vessels were about to burst. So terrifying. What kind of aura is this? Lin Xian's face changed. He quickly circulated the art of longevity. At the same time, he activated the Great Dragon Sword Essence to destroy the pressure. Fortunately, he had comprehended 70% of the Great Dragon Sword Essence. With the help of the Wind Essence, he was able to withstand the pressure. Taking a deep breath, Lin Xian's face turned pale. He looked out of the window in horror. This is the aura of a spirit-channeling realm warrior, Lord Alcohol transmitted. Spirit-detecting martial artist. Lin Xian's pupils shrank. He had long heard of the miraculous and powerful spirit-detecting experts, but this was the first time he felt such a powerful aura. However, he was even more confused. Why would a spirit-detecting realm expert come to the secluded Spirit Mountain Villa? Could it be related to this treasure hunt? Lin Xian was surprised. Not only him, but the entire Black Feather City also felt an oppressive aura. Many of the tycoons of the various forces were terrified as they looked in the direction of the Mansion of Spirits. For a time, all kinds of perception quickly probed in that direction. At this moment, the clouds above the Mansion of Spirits were rolling, and the faint roar of a dragon could be heard. The blood-colored radiance shone like a sun, piercing through the clouds. 3 ferocious and terrifying blood-colored flood dragons were baring their fangs and brandishing their claws in the clouds. Each of them was more than 30 meters long, and the blood-colored spiritual inscriptions on their bodies were clearly visible. That aura was even stronger than that of an ordinary spirit transformation realm warrior. Behind them was a black palanquin with 2 blood-colored flags on both sides. Flood dragons as slaves, Iron and Blood Banner. Everyone was stunned when they saw this scene. The warriors who wanted to probe quickly retracted their spiritual energy, afraid that they would disturb the person in the sky. Lin Xian also saw this scene from the window, and his heart was in turmoil. They were actually rank 8 Fey beasts comparable to the spirit transformation realm. Furthermore, there were 3 of them. This was too terrifying. At this moment, all the large families in Black Feather City had issued a death order. No one was to go out tonight. Jiang Tianyu looked at the arrogant and massive phantom in the sky and sighed in his heart. He hoped that Lin Xian was fine. Otherwise, even if the head of the Jiang family came, it would be difficult to save him. Inside the Mansion of Spirits, Lin Xian stood in front of the window, unable to speak for a long time. This aura should be that of a spirit-detecting realm warrior, and one that has reached the large success stage. Lord Alcohol said in a deep voice, "Xiao Xuanzi, don't act rashly. Otherwise, even I won't be able to save you." At this moment, a ghostly figure appeared behind Lin Xian and quickly brought him to the courtyard. That person was Master Ghost. He brought Lin Xian to the courtyard and looked up at the sky. "Welcome, Lord Iron Hand." Master Ghost was very respectful, and there was no trace of the coldness from before. "Is everything ready?" A dignified voice sounded. Immediately after, a black figure descended from the sky and landed in the courtyard like a comet. The cold fog in the surroundings dissipated as if it was afraid of the figure in the center. Lin Xian stood behind Master Ghost and looked at the black figure in front of him. His muscles were tense, and his breathing was uneven. It was a middle-aged man with a face as firm as a knife. He had the aura of a superior. He was dressed in a black-red robe with a blood-colored flag that seemed to flutter in the wind. His body was completely hidden in the black robe, but his exposed hands were suffused with a bronze glow. "My lord, this is Lin Xian who is assisting us," Master Ghost said respectfully from the side. Hearing that, the black-robed man looked at Lin Xian. His gaze was extremely deep, and it was like two sharp swords that pierced through Lin Xian. Feeling this gaze, Lin Xian felt as if his body was fixed in the void and could not move. What a terrifying gaze! Lin Xian was horrified. Under this gaze, it was as if all his secrets were exposed. Stimulated by this pressure, the great dragon sword essence in Lin Xian's body roared and quickly resisted. However, in front of this black-robed man, the great dragon sword essence lost its effect. Lin Xian only felt cold sweat dripping down his forehead. At this critical moment, the mysterious small sword in his body trembled slightly and emitted a gentle mysterious power. It wandered around Lin Xian's body and offset this pressure. Feeling that the spiritual power in his body had returned to normal, he breathed a sigh of relief. Although it was just a glance, Lin Xian felt as if he had experienced 10,000 years. The black-robed man was slightly surprised. "You're not affected." "Interesting." Hearing that, Master Ghost's body trembled slightly, and he looked at Lin Xian with a horrified gaze. To be able to interest Lord Iron Hand, this young man was indeed not simple. Wooji at this moment, the snow-white monkey on Lin Xian's shoulder was also constantly gesturing. It was also not affected by the pressure. "This little monkey is the key to our plan this time," Master Ghost explained. The black-robed man nodded slightly. "Although I don't know what kind of mutant it is, it must be extraordinary to be able to ignore my pressure. All right, there's no time to lose. Let's get started." The black-robed man did not want to waste time. Master Ghost nodded, and then his palms began to clap rhythmically. Immediately, dozens of black iron men that were suffused with black light quickly walked out. Each of them held a blood-colored flag in their hands, and they were rapidly rotating in different directions. This is an array formation." Lord Alcohol was slightly surprised when he sensed this scene through Lin Xian's soul power. It looks like there's indeed something impressive sealed below. Chapter 399. The 12 Iron Men stood in all directions. They waved the flags in their hands, forming a mysterious force. Immediately, the fog in the courtyard churned and completely enveloped Spectre Mountain Villa. Lin Xian realized that the fog was very viscous and could block soul power detection. It was likely that the black-robed man and Master Ghost did not want others to know what was about to happen. After forming a defensive array, the 12 Iron Men changed the flags in their hands again and produced the array's power. Immediately, a mysterious blood-colored pattern appeared on the ground, emitting a shocking, killing intent. As the scarlet light intensified, it was as though the gates of hell had opened. A blood-red crater appeared. Lin Xian's eyes flickered as he could see the scene inside. There were mountains of corpses and a sea of blood. Every bone was the size of a small mountain. "What is this place?" Lin Xian was alarmed. The bones didn't look human at all, but even a demon beast wouldn't be that big, right? "These are all ancient beasts. It should be an ancient battlefield," Lord Alcohol said slowly. "I never expected an ancient battlefield to be buried under Blackfeather Ancient City. It's no wonder I felt an inexplicable sense of familiarity." Ancient battlefield? Lin Xian was very curious, but Lord Alcohol didn't elaborate. He could only suppress his curiosity. Compared to Lin Xian, the black-robed man and Master Ghost were much calmer. The two of them looked at the blood-red crater with a burning glow in their eyes. "Do you see that blood-colored flag? That's our target this time," the black-robed man said. Even someone as powerful as him felt a hint of excitement when he saw what was in the blood-red crater. Lin Xian looked in the direction of the voice and saw a rusty blood-colored flag in the middle of the sea of bones. The flag was in tatters, with only about a third of it remaining. "If you can take out that flag, you will be the benefactor of the Great Flag Sect," the black-robed man said. Great Flag Sect. Lin Xian's eyelids twitched. That was one of the top factions in Dragonstar Kingdom. Could this black-robed man be from the Great Flag sect? Just as Lin Xian was exclaiming, the snow-white monkey on his shoulder was scratching its ears and cheeks in irritation. What happened? Lin Xian was moved. He knew that the snow-white little monkey was very special and could always find some mysterious treasures. But at this moment, he didn't want anything to happen to the little white monkey. After comforting the little white monkey for a while, Lin Xian said softly, "If you think you can take out the flag, go ahead. If you can't afford it, don't force yourself." The little white monkey nodded and then looked anxiously at the bloody pit. The black-robed man took a deep breath and said in a deep voice, "I can only open it for 3 breaths of time. If you don't come out after 3 breaths of time, you will stay inside forever." 3 breaths. Lin Xian clenched his fists. Then, the black-robed man's hands, which were covered in bronze, condensed a large flag in the air. On the flag, there were intersecting swords and sabers. With a wave of the flag, a destructive energy gushed out. Feeling this aura, Lin Xian's heart trembled. This aura was very violent. Even if a spirit transformation realm cultivator came in contact with it, they would definitely be turned into ashes. The violent energy bombarded the bloody pit and instantly tore open a millstone-sized crack. The little white monkey's body flickered and then disappeared. In the next moment, its body appeared in the bloody pit. However, the little white monkey didn't rush towards the broken flag. Instead, it ran towards another corner that was filled with corpses. Lin Xian's expression changed greatly as he stared at the bloody pit. The black-robed man's expression also darkened as a terrifying aura spread out from his body. The little white monkey moved quickly and dug out a tattered flag from the pile of bones. There were even cracks and gaps on it. In the next moment, it carried the small bowl on its head and quickly ran toward the bloody flag. In an instant, it arrived before the bloody flag and its furry paws picked up the rusty flagpole. "Hurry up, there's no time," the black-robed man whispered. His whole body was covered in bloody light as he waved the flag in his hand. The little white monkey's figure disappeared. At this moment, the 3 breaths of time were up. The bloody pit closed again and emitted a hellish aura. 1 breath, 2 breaths. The little white monkey's figure didn't appear. Could it be trapped inside? Lin Xian's face darkened as he quickly spread out his soul power. The black-robed man also looked around and frowned. Sigh. He let out a heavy sigh and his eyes were filled with disappointment. At this moment, the void trembled and ripples appeared in the air. A white figure quickly appeared with a broken flag that was more than 2 meters long in its hand. The moment the flag appeared, the entire villa trembled as if there was an earthquake. The black-robed man's eyes changed from disappointment to shock. Finally, he laughed. His hand quickly grabbed the flag. Suddenly, a bloody pillar of light shot up into the sky like a mountain. However, the black-robed man was faster. With a flip of his hand, he quickly put away the broken flag. A bloody pillar appeared in Blackfeather City and quickly rushed into the sky. The terrifying aura made all the strong people in Blackfeather City tremble. Ha 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 ha. The black-robed man laughed. Opposite him, the little white monkey had a small bowl on its head. Its big, gem-like eyes squinted into a crescent shape. Swoosh. It turned into a shadow and went into Lin Xian's storage ring. Lin Xian, you are the savior of the Great Flag sect. Now I'm going to refine this flag. Take this flag and find me in Barren Flame City in 2 months. If you have any requests, just let me know. After that, the black-robed man's body swayed and quickly rushed to the black sedan in the sky. The 3 ferocious blood dragons roared into the sky, turned into bloody light, and rushed into the sky and disappeared. Barren Flame City. Lin Xian whispered, his eyes flickering. I didn't expect it to work. Kid, your luck is here. Master Ghost said enviously. Iron Hand is a man of his word. He will definitely agree to any request you have. Any request? Lin Xian raised his eyebrows. He had an idea. If he asked to join the Azure Dragon Society, would Iron Hand agree and do it? What if my request is difficult? Lin Xian looked at Master Ghost and asked, difficult? Master Ghost was stunned and then sneered. No matter how difficult it is, as long as Iron Hand wants to do it, he will definitely do it. Iron Hand is one of the top figures in the Dragonstar Kingdom. There is nothing he can't do. One of the top figures, Lin Xian, was shocked. Iron Hand must be a high-ranking figure in the Great Flag sect. Lord Alcohol, what kind of treasure is that iron blood flag? It can actually make a spirit-detecting expert so excited. Also, what is that small bowl that Little White is holding? Lin Xian asked through voice transmission. You will know these things in the future. Lord Alcohol seemed to be still immersed in the scene of the ancient battlefield and didn't want to say anything. Forget it. It seems like I really have to make a trip to Barren Flame City in 2 months. Lin Xian stroked his chin and thought. Chapter 400. On the side, Master Ghost kept making hand seals, and the 12 black iron men quickly changed the formation. All of a sudden, the bloody light disappeared, and the horrifying bloody hole disappeared. The mansion of spirits returned to normal. After the 12 iron men left, Master Ghost looked at Lin Xian. Kid, I said before that if you succeed, I will give you a spiritual rank artifact. I will not go back on my words. Follow me. Finishing his words, he turned around and walked into the depths of the mansion of spirits. Spiritual rank sword. Lin Xian's eyes lit up. Although Iron Hand Lord's promise was still an empty promise, the spiritual rank sword that Master Ghost mentioned was a real treasure. Suppressing the joy in his heart, Lin Xian quickly followed. Soon, the two arrived at a treasure room. Master Ghost took out a long sword from the pile of materials and weapons. The sword was 3 feet long and 3 fingers wide. It was blue in color, as dazzling as the stars. This sword is called Star Extinction. It was made with meteorite from outer space. It is a mid-rank spiritual rank sword. Lin Xian was ecstatic. Mid-rank spiritual rank sword. It was even higher than his black cloak. As a swordsman, he could naturally feel the powerful energy contained in the Star Extinction sword. Holding the long sword in his hand, Lin Xian slightly channeled his spirit power. Rays of blue sword chi flew out and quickly turned into fine sword marks, forming a full moon-like ripple in the air. Good sword, Lin Xian praised. The reason why artifacts were called artifacts was because they could increase a warrior's fighting power. Like this mid-rank spiritual rank artifact, Lin Xian estimated that it could increase his attacking power by 2 times. This was a very rare thing. After entering the harmonious spirit realm, a warrior's cultivation speed would slow down greatly, and the number of warriors in the same realm would increase greatly. In the same realm, whoever had a better weapon would be able to increase their fighting power greatly. Although the Dragonstar Strong Country was vast, mid-rank spiritual rank artifacts were not as common as cabbages. Even in the Dragonstar Strong Country, they were considered top-tier artifacts. Thank you for the sword, Senior, Lin Xian said, and took out the black scabbard. This Star Extinction sword was similar to his Autumn Scar sword. It should be able to fit into the black scabbard. Clang! The Star Sword returned to its scabbard perfectly. However, when Master Ghost saw the black scabbard, his body trembled slightly. Kid, show him the black scabbard. Lord Alcohol sent a voice transmission. Lin Xian was slightly taken aback. At this moment, Master Ghost said excitedly, Kid, can you show me your scabbard? With Lord Alcohol's reminder, Lin Xian didn't hesitate and immediately handed the black scabbard over. The black scabbard was very simple and unadorned. It was pitch black all over like black jade. Moreover, it was enough to form the power of wind and thunder. Back then, Lin Xian had relied on it to unleash the wind and thunder sword technique. Now that he could use his own strength to unleash the power of wind and thunder, the black scabbard was no longer of much use. Next to him, Master Ghost stroked the black scabbard gently, using a special method to examine it quickly. What an exquisite scabbard! This should be an ancient item. Master Ghost exclaimed. Kid, where did you get this scabbard? He had gotten it from a street stall in the past. Lin Xian didn't explain in detail. This scabbard contains the power of wind and thunder. If you put it into a long sword of the corresponding attribute, it will be greatly nourished. Over time, it might be able to increase the grade of the longsword. Master Ghost said, Increase the grade? That's so magical. Lin Xian was astonished. In the past, When he used the scabbard, he didn't feel anything special about it. However, it might be because the Autumn Scar sword didn't have any attributes. The scabbard is a little damaged inside, but I can repair it. If you can have a sword of wind and thunder attributes, it will definitely increase your strength greatly when paired with this scabbard. Master Ghost continued, this Star of Extinction sword can be said to be of the lightning attribute. This is because the meteorite that created it contains powerful lightning. If you can find a sword of the wind attribute, then this scabbard will be perfect. Lin Xian was a little confused. A sword of the wind and thunder attribute? But there's only one scabbard. One scabbard with two swords. Don't you know that? Master Ghost said with disdain. All right, leave it with me. Give me 3 days. I guarantee that I'll make your eyes light up. After saying that, Master Ghost hurriedly chased Lin Xian out. Trust him. With his strength, he should be able to do it. Lord Alcohol transmitted. Can that black scabbard really hold 2 swords? Lin Xian was still doubtful. Yes. I've even seen a scabbard with 3 swords before. Lord Alcohol said, your scabbard should be a replica of that item. Forget it. Next, you just need to find a sword of the wind attribute. To be able to increase his strength, Lin Xian was naturally happy. The stronger he was, the higher his chances of winning the Azure Dragon Gathering. As long as he won the championship, he could sense the direction of the Great Dragon Sword after fusing with the True Dragon Chi. The Great Dragon Sword was his final goal. During the 3 days of waiting for Master Ghost, Lin Xian cultivated according to his routine. After 3 days, Master Ghost floated into Lin Xian's room like a ghost. Here, he threw the black scabbard over. Lin Xian caught it and inserted the Extinction Star Sword. With his outstanding soul power, he could feel that the Extinction Star Sword seemed to be letting out a carefree cry. This phenomenon was rare in the past. Lin Xian looked over and saw that the black scabbard had unknowingly become 2 sword slots. The Extinction Star Sword occupied one of them, leaving the other one. A sword of the wind attribute? Lin Xian stroked his chin and tried hard to recall. He had never heard of a powerful country with a sword of the wind attribute. Forget it. Since you helped Lord Ironhand, I'll give you a piece of information for free. Master Ghost said, there's a map here. Legend has it that a wind shadow sword is buried here. If you think you're strong enough, you can give it a try. With that, Master Ghost threw out a yellowed scroll. Wind shadow sword? What grade is that? Lin Xian asked. Don't worry, it's definitely not lower grade than the Extinction Star Sword. Master Ghost was full of confidence. Hearing this, Lin Xian's eyes lit up. The Extinction Star Sword was a mid-grade spiritual rank treasure. It was not lower than it, so it was at least a mid-grade spiritual rank treasure. Looking at Master Ghost's expression, it might even be higher. Opening the yellowed scroll, Lin Xian found that the information on it was very detailed. At the same time, he took out the map of the Dragon Star Kingdom that he had obtained earlier and began to compare it seriously. Bayun Mountain was in the west of the Dragon Star Kingdom. It was also the only way to get to Barren Flame City. Since we're going to Barren Flame City, why not go to Bayun Mountain first? Lin Xian thought to himself. Thank you for your guidance, Senior. I want to leave now and prepare to go to Bayun Mountain immediately. Go. I also want to study a new puppet, Master Ghost said. Soon, Lin Xian left the Spirit Villa and walked out of the city with Blackfeather. Recently, the various forces in Blackfeather City had been very quiet, but they were secretly paying attention to every move of the Spirit Villa. Now that Lin Xian walked out of the Spirit Villa, he suddenly became the focus of everyone's attention. Chapter 401. He was no longer as arrogant as before because the 8 elite warriors he brought with him had all fallen. Lin Xian had only swung his sword 3 times throughout the whole process. The 3 sword strikes seemed simple, but they were filled with endless killing intent. Each sword strike contained 50% of the Fire Monkey's Great Dragon Sword intent, and the last strike was infused with the wind concept. Even a late harmonious Spirit Realm warrior would not dare to take on such an attack, let alone a mid-harmonious Spirit Realm warrior. Brat, consider yourself lucky this time. Don't let me see you again. Ing Xiaosheng snorted and turned to leave. Don't you think it's too late to leave now? Lin Xian's cloak fluttered as he appeared in front of Ing Shaoxiang. How dare you block my way? You're courting death. Ing Shaoxiang was furious. Who was he? He was the young lord of Eagle Fortress. Normally, he was the one who bullied others in Blackfeather City. No one was like Lin Xian and dared to block his way. What do you want? Ing Shaoxiang asked coldly. What do I want? Lin Xian sneered. You brought people to kill me, and now you want to leave because you can't beat me? How can there be such an easy thing in this world? I, Lin Xian, am not a pushover. If you want to kill me, you'll have to pay the price. Price? What price do you want? I am the young lord of Eagle Fortress. What can you do to me? Ing Shaoxiang became arrogant again. If you want to kill someone, you should be prepared to be killed. Lin Xian pulled out his star extinction sword. You dare to kill me? Ing Shaoxiang laughed. Aren't you afraid of Eagle Fortress revenge? Do you think I'll return to Blackfeather City? Lin Xian said coldly. Today, I'll teach you a lesson. You'll have to pay the price for what you've done. A blue sword light suddenly flashed out as fast as lightning. Flying Rainbow, the fourth style of Azure Cloud Sword Art. With the support of Lin Xian's 5 cities dragon sword intent, the sword light was like a rainbow in the sky, floating down. Eagles splitting the firmament. Ing Shaoxiang's aura burst out as he also unleashed a terrifying attack. As a late harmonious spirit realm warrior, Ing Shaoxiang's strength was extraordinary. Coupled with the fact that he also had a mid-grade spirit treasure, this attack was extremely terrifying. You want to kill me? You're too naive. Ing Shaoxiang laughed madly. I also have a mid-grade spirit step artifact, and my cultivation is 2 levels higher than yours. How are you going to kill me? I will capture you personally and turn you into a pill slave so that you can refine pills for our Eagle Castle forever. Resisting Lin Xian's sword chi, Ing Shaoxiang's confidence soared. Eagle soars the earth. He soared into the air and made strange movements in the air. Like a goshawk, he pounced towards Lin Xian. An indescribable power appeared, and at this moment, Ing Shaoxiang was truly like a heavenly eagle, spreading his wings and soaring. The terrifying aura was vast and mighty, and a gale swept up within 100 meters. The momentum was shocking. Flying star. Looking at the terrifying attack in the sky, Lin Xian once again used his ultimate skill. 70% of the great dragon sword intent gushed out. Lin Xian turned into a meteor and soared into the sky. At this moment, his whole body was burning with a dark blue light, dragging a long tail of light, drawing a strange arc in the sky. Swoosh! The whole sky seemed to have been split into 2, and a large area of vacuum appeared. Ing Shaoxiang's body trembled and froze in the air. He lowered his head slightly and saw that the defensive barrier in front of him had been completely shattered, and a fist-sized bloody hole had appeared in his chest. He wanted to open his mouth, but could only spit out blood. He was unwilling, extremely unwilling. Ing Shaoxiang's pupils were dilated, and his face was filled with fear. He felt that his consciousness was rapidly weakening. At this moment, he suddenly regretted his actions. If he didn't provoke Lin Xian, perhaps he wouldn't have died now. But time couldn't be reversed, and he could only pay the price for his mistake. Boom! Ing Shaoxiang's body fell from the sky and smashed onto the ground. Lin Xian quickly flashed, took his storage ring and the pair of middle-grade spiritual gloves, and then used thunder and lightning to burn the body to ashes. Although he wasn't afraid of being hunted down by the Eagle Fortress, he didn't want to attract unnecessary trouble for himself. The other bodies were also disposed of. After doing all this, Lin Xian quickly hurried and disappeared into the forest. Far away from Blackfeather City, Lin Xian summoned the Golden Frog, and he began to searching Shaoxiang's storage ring. It had to be said that as the young fort lord of the Eagle Castle, Ing Shaoxiang was extremely wealthy. He carried more than 30,000 middle-grade spirit stones with him, and there were also some spiritual martial arts techniques. Of course, the most expensive thing was the pair of middle-grade spiritual gloves. Although he didn't need them, he could sell them for a lot of middle-grade spirit stones. After putting away the storage ring, Lin Xian began to cultivate. Half a month later, he arrived at the Bayun mountain range. Looking at the misty Bayun mountain range, Lin Xian took a deep breath. In this half a month, his cultivation had improved again. The art of longevity was indeed a magical technique, and it allowed him to improve again in just half a month. Opening the yellowed scroll, Lin Xian looked for the marked location on the map. According to the scroll, the Wind Shadow Sword was in a graveyard, and this graveyard belonged to a spirit-detecting expert called the Evil King. The 32nd Mountain. Lin Xian looked at the mountains and then put away the scroll. He patted Xiaojin gently, and his body turned into a shadow as he ran towards the top of the mountain. The Baiyun mountain range was full of dense forests, and there were birds, beasts, and apes crying. In the mountains, there was a group of martial artists with steady footsteps running toward the 32nd Mountain. This group of people had dark red killing intent, and their faces were ferocious. At a glance, it was obvious that they weren't good people. Second Master, is there really a treasure here? A few of the martial artists asked. It can't be wrong. It took me a long time to find this information. There must be a peerless treasure here. After I get those treasures, I will no longer be the Second Master. I will be the real leader of the Black Tiger Gang. You are all heroes who have helped me. After I become the leader, I will reward you. Thank you, boss. The group of martial artists was excited. The one leading the group was a middle-aged man with messy brown hair. There was a cross-shaped scar on his face, which made people feel intimidated. This middle-aged man's aura had reached the peak of the harmonious spirit realm, which was very powerful. The martial artists behind him were also at the harmonious spirit realm, and none of them were weak. This group of people was also looking for the Evil King's tomb. Boss, what is in the tomb? A young martial artist asked. The middle-aged man looked back. You just broke through to the harmonious spirit realm, so it is normal that you don't know. The Evil King, Yu Xiangchuan, was very famous in the Longxing country. He didn't care whether he was righteous or evil. He did everything according to his personal preferences, which was why he offended many forces. However, his cultivation was very high, reaching the late stage of the spirit-detecting realm. Ordinary forces in the Longxing country couldn't do anything to him. Later on, there were experts from the top forces who tried to encircle him, but he escaped in the end. However, after that battle, he was seriously injured, and finally, he became quiet. Legend has it that he had the 4 ultimate skills of wind, flower, snow, and moon. After his death, these 4 ultimate skills were buried in his tomb. These were treasures that even spirit-detecting realm experts would be jealous of. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.